Welcome back to Harambe's Heroes podcast. We got a couple of special guests here. We're going to be talking a lot about, obviously, lists for Slambo. We got Dan Norris and Zachary Candy, both guests to help, obviously, the Big Brain Zach to help us dig through and tell everybody what's wrong with their lists. And Dan, just because he's Dan, he's beautiful, he's hilarious. Why don't you go ahead and talk to us a little bit about the event, Dan?
Well, first of all, I'd be happy to do that. Good to see you guys, and happy to be here, and thanks so much for having us on. We're excited to have all you groovy gits come on down to San Antonio for the Slambo GT. So as you know, we've got 5 custom scenarios, just a little weirder than the last one. And we're very excited that all the proceeds of this event will go and help the kids of Clarity Child Guidance Center. A lot of people don't know that 1 in 5 children in Texas suffers with mental illness. And so while you're rolling bones and having a nice beer and having meaningful games with good friends, you could actually help children get the help they need when they need it. And it's not just here in San Antonio. They help children from all over the state. So, my hat's off to Harambe's Heroes, Austin Weird Knobs, even with their shitty tacos, the Dallas Defenders, and of course, my brothers and sisters in the Sons of Slambo.
Yeah, fuck their tacos. I really don't really like any tacos, to be honest. I guess we demonetized this thing quickly. Good thing we never made a nickel off any of these.
Oh my gosh. Well, and we're going to find out, if the Canadians and all those other out-of-staters that are coming in will be able to handle real-life tacos and tequila.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not banking on it.
Now, I also wanted to announce, since this is the Harambe's Heroes podcast, that I did go out and get a special award. So since you all have been kicking our ass here for the last year, sometimes there's just too much purple on the map. So I needed to make it somehow a little bit more competitive for you motherfuckers. And so I went ahead and got a Best Harambe Hero Award. So you'll have your very own avatar that you'll be able to ape around in, should you win.
I'm excited to see which Harambe gets 2 awards this time.
That's right.
I mean, we got some good lists coming I don't think we really capped anything out as good as it could be for most of us.
But
I think there's a couple. Yeah. But every one of our lists could get a little worse if we went that far. But I don't really think any of us are trying. We're definitely looking at Slambo as the fun event. And I played the packet now probably twice between 2 practice tournaments, practice locals. And I think they're a blast. I mean, initially I was like, I got to start everything on the board. Well, the Soul Blight I've been working on, toss it right in the trash, not going to be able. And then I played this scenario, and it really isn't that big of a deal for Soul Blight. Matchups can kill you, but the mission itself is definitely still playable if you have to start all your stuff on the board and then you're not used to doing that. So
yeah, we've had a lot of players that were Soul Blight initially freak out about it. Now, what most of them don't know is that's basically a scenario that's already in the General's Handbook. They just haven't flipped that far back.
Yeah, we only use Apex Predator, Savage Gains, and the Vice on GTs, and then whatever. We don't make it that far back to get to one of that to that objective or that mission. It's a fun one though. I actually like it. The objectives are close enough. You got a lot of play, even if you have to start on the board. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed as much as we did playtesting it. I love the Texas Masters. I have a blast with it, but I always want to do a different scenario. I'm more of a narrative and just like put our shit on the table and play. And so, it's fun to do just little weird things. Now, we try not to make it too game breaking because it is a competition. But we wanted to force some hard choices, especially with scenarios like Piñata.
I love love it.
I hated the missions, the objectives disappearing. but the more I've played it, the more I love it. Like if you have an army that can apply pressure and survive giving up the turn, like you can just completely control that mission. Just beat armies you got no business beating. Like it's fun.
Well, we tried to have at least, every type of army build have at least one challenging scenario, just to mix it up. So it really, it was our intention not to favor any particular army. I'm sure we failed on some level, but we hope everyone will be drunk enough not to notice.
Oh yeah. You guys got beer tickets again? Is that still a thing?
No, so this time I got to tell you, in all my years of organizing, this one got a little screwed up just with the pandemic and everything else. Mm-hmm. So we had to change venues, but the good news is the venue that we're at has a bar. Now, if you don't like what's in the bar, we're right next to several restaurants that serve alcohol and several other bars within walking distance. So should you want to have booze, it is at hand.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, this is the fun event. This is going to be a blast. I think this is the event last time where I met everyone who I'm still friends with today. It's like I ran into the meat grinder fire slayer list and we laughed about it and drank and I snatched 20 beer tickets out of my pocket and was like, yep, no chance I'm getting through this. So let's drink some beers and laugh.
Yeah, that's the event where Brian and I met. And I met most of the people in last Slambo too. So I look fondly in my memory at this event.
Yeah. Now, Zach, remind us all, didn't you dominate at that event, if I recall correctly?
Yeah, well, 60 Hearthguard were pretty busted, so yeah.
Yeah, I had just smashed my game 1 and game 2 opponents. I was feeling real good day 1, 2-0, going working my way up to those top tables, and then Gavin was like, who you playing? And he looked and he saw Zachary Kennedy and he laughed and walked away. Like that was all. He didn't tell me anything. He just laughed at me because he knew I was playing Mortal Khorne. Mortal Khorne couldn't fight their way through 60 Hearthguard.
No, not on that mission especially.
No, not on that mission for sure.
Yeah, so we just drank and had a good time. It was fun.
Well, that's good. I hope you guys have an even better time. So we're hoping it gets wacky, and it's kind of cool to have people from all over, like Jacob Berry and the Tough Guys, and some of the folks. I think there's a couple of guys coming in from Jacksonville, Florida.
There's like the Tough Crowd guys. They're like going to be, I think, annually the second best Age of Sigmar club in America. I think because they're never going to beat us. So they'll always be number 2. But it's good to have those guys come in. We're really looking forward to seeing y'all. And, a lot of us that didn't get to travel as much last year, we'll be traveling some more this year. So maybe we'll see y'all more out there on the road, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do we want to get into the list?
Yeah, I think might as well.
So let's see. You guys cue me up. I'm not sure how it... I'm old enough not to be able to understand how to run a Discord video. So, been on them. No idea how they work.
Well, I am going to have to... while Evan's getting it on the screen, I'm going to go ahead and pull up BCP. BCP on my computer so I can see them a little quicker.
Now, speaking of that, why is Evan hidden? I mean, what are you hiding, Evan?
Well, you know how all the good podcasts have a Jamie or some kind of producer in the back that only speaks when spoken to. That's kind of what Evan is for us.
Mm.
He's like the Gimp from Pulp Fiction. We keep him in the box till it's time to get him out,
Okay.
And then he comes out with 4 Wargogs and, beats Seraphon in 3 minutes.
So if I do ask him a question, he has to answer by law?
Oh, yeah.
So, Evan, have you ever gone to make a pork sausage and find it's got hairs all over it? See, you can keep a secret. Oh,
that's wrong.
Sorry, everybody in chat land.
Well, we can start with Adam Burke, who we're just going to go alphabetically and go through the first half of the list. And Adam Burke, who is a son of Slambo. Do you know anything about Adam, Dan?
Yeah, Adam's a super cool guy. He actually came out a couple of times right before the pandemic. So, before the zombie plague started. And he showed up in the scene with this really super cool FEC list. Killer guy, very nice, very calm. But he's a surgeon with that FEC. But this time he's sporting Lumineth Realm Lords, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like he's doing Iliatha in Lumineth Realm Lords. And looking at the list, if it's up on screen there, let's check. Yeah, there it is. So this is the nails. Evan, you said that no one can hear you in chat, right? Okay, well that's too bad. Well, Evan's brother likes to smash his face in with a very similar build to this. But he's got Archmage Teclis, he's got a Venari Lord Regent, and he's got 2 units of minimum Wardens, a unit of 20 Sentinels, the Spell Portals, and the Life Swarm. And then he has another unit of 20 Sentinels who are not battle line. So it's 40 total Sentinels, Teclis, Spell Portals. I mean, it's the standard Teclis bubble. Just going to try to take away everything important that his opponent has, and then walk onto the objectives after. So, Brian, you got anything to say about that one?
I hate it. I mean, not really. It's a pain. I think we've all played it about 5,000 times. I mean, you can beat it, but it's annoying in all the ways that Lumineth are. They mess with your CP. They stop you from moving. They cast spells without rolling dice. All the things that whatever. But I think it's a good list. It's nails, man. If you don't know what you're doing and you don't know how to mitigate some of what it does, you're going to struggle. But yeah, it's a killer one. It's probably the best list I've seen at a Lumineth list in a while, since Ben's 50 Sentinel list. It's probably the best version I've seen since Sentinels got hit.
Yeah, it's definitely a very strong build, and it's got a pretty high skill cap. So if he knows what he's doing, it's going to be a really tough out for anybody. Mm-hmm. I think its biggest weaknesses would be stuff like giants and things that can get in its face really fast.
Yeah, anything that can run it down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my ogre list tends to do really well against Lumineth Realm Lords, but everything else like this owns my ass.
Yeah, definitely likes to play rock, paper, scissors with lists like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, it's I mean, this is a good list, and if Dan's right, he's a good player. So I would expect to see this in the top half at day 2.
Yeah. He's also been practicing since Dallas, so with this list. So I'm really curious to see what he does.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll do well if he can pull a fraction of the potential of this list out at a tournament. He'll do really well.
Oh yeah, Humble Portal, Steering Light, all the Life Swarm. I mean, everything like a shooting list will mess up and take turn 1 against that, and then watch all of their damage that they did just go away. If they don't wipe a unit completely, it all just comes back.
Yeah. So we can move on from that, I think. The second player is Alan Michael Torres with Harambe's Heroes. Alan is a great guy, a good friend of all of ours. He's fairly new this season into the scene. He decided to come join us at GTs when he saw how much fun we were having with it. But he's a chaos player through and through. Always plays our demons. We always tell him to play and add some mortals to his list, but he hates them, so he won't do it. We occasionally get him to compromise, but he hates it. So if you see Alan across the table, you're going to have a fun game. You're going to probably have to kill a lot of plague bears to win the game, though. Although it looks like he's playing plague drones this time around. Looking at this list. So he's got a Great Unclean one that's Master of Magic with the Witherstave. Mm-hmm. A Lord Afflictions, a Bile Piper, a Poxbringer, 2 units of plague drones that are reinforced, and a plague bear unit. And Shackles. So he's playing the take and hold game.
Mm-hmm.
So
And you're not moving.
No, I mean, he'll do pretty well. It's going to be fairly matchup dependent for him. There's going to be some things like Seraphon that are going to give him a lot of trouble, but he knows that.
Yeah, he might struggle a little bit in Pinata too. So there's a good chance to be able to move some of those objectives. So,
yeah, and he'll have trouble getting to them fast because they're, at least on that mission, I remember them being pretty far from the deployment zone.
Yeah. Now, on a bright side, he has a very Hollywood-esque name, Alan Michael Torres.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sounds like he played he was a stuntman in the Renegade. Remember that old '90s series, the Renegade? He was like a stuntman in the Renegade.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Lorenzo Lames, stuntman.
So yeah, I would expect a good game from him if you decide to play him. He's mostly here to hang out with the boys, but he'll give you a good game. So if you see him across the table, hope you enjoy your game. Next, let Brian take this one.
Okay, well, I'm trying to get the list pulled up. We have here Doc. Oh no, this is Deepkin.
It's Alex.
Yeah. Well, we all know Alex at this point. Like, I don't think people knew he was there for a minute, but he's one of the weird knob guys. Great player. But see, I can't. Which faction are they playing?
So he's playing Nautilor.
Nautilor, okay.
Which is the Leviathan battle line that gives them monsters action to get 3 rend on all their attacks, like with their fins and jaws.
Yeah. It's super cool. I mean, I would expect like Dom Hain probably with Thralls. It Thralls like Dom Hain in their thing, their food thing.
Thralls, yeah. But it looks like he's focusing more on his Reavers and Leviathan here.
Yeah, probably.
And he's got that Achillean King that everyone's using like a missile.
Oh yeah, the missile Achillean King, plus getting to take double advantage of High Tide. You get it one turn and you get it the next turn. It's actually really good with the King there.
Yeah.
Because you only have a couple of units you want to be in combat with, so you go in with a couple on turn 2 and get D3, which is generally going to be 2 to fight first, and then on battle round 3 you get it 2 if you're not flipping the tides. I don't see a flip tide anywhere. So
no. He does have the aspect of the sea with Steed of Tides, so he's going to be looking in your games to be teleporting that and to try to take your save away so that he can shoot you up with the Reavers.
Since they execute it where you can take D3 away from a single target save.
Yeah, I'm still unsure that should work that way, but currently it works that way according to the core rules. So that aspect of the sea can either take 1 save away from D3 units or take D3 save away from 1 unit. So he'll teleport up with his rerolls and cast that, take it away, and they'll shoot you up with Reavers, and you'll have no save. So that's the basic game plan there, while he tries to keep things alive with the Life Swarm and the Leviathan and the King run around with Ren 3 attacks. So it's really good at fighting things with high saves because has a lot of ways to mitigate that.
Okay, I finally got BCP to work with me where I can pull the list up myself.
Yeah, and Alex is the guy, so he played Deepkin in Dallas, and he had a really good game with Gavin when Gavin was playing Gitz with Kragnos.
Yeah, it looked like he had Gavin, because Gavin had nothing left on the board turn 2. I don't know what happened over there.
So their game came down to, it looked like Alex was going to win the game, but so Gavin had to do a last-ditch effort, and he took Kragnos, and on High Tide, charged the Leviathan. So he knows that if he doesn't kill the Leviathan with the mortals on the charge, he gets just smacked by it in combat. But he charges in and does 30 mortals or something with the Kragnos charge. And that basically sealed the game. I'm sure I'm missing some facts in there, but that's the basic of what ended up happening.
Yeah, 500 points seems like a lot for Leviathan, but when you think about what you have to do to kill that thing, and then it's got reverberating carapace. So, yeah, that's just when you think about what you have to actually put through to kill that 2+ save turtle. It'll be fun. I mean, I'm glad to see something different. I can't wait to see his army was painted beautifully last time, and the turtle was a fantastic model. So I would like to see how he does on that. But this is one of many Idneth Deepkin. As I predicted, there were going to be a lot of Idneth at Slambo, and there is, so.
Yeah, I think it's second only to Stormcast.
I think so. I mean, we had a couple of drops, so I'd have to take a look, but all I can say is fuck Gamera. I mean, Jesus. You Gen Xers will know what I'm talking about. All right.
So next we have a returnee, a legendary Texas player, Andrew Carlson, finally coming out of the woodwork.
From the dead, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another son of Slambo playing Daughters of Cain once again.
Oh, he's a motherfucking surgeon.
Back to his roots, huh?
Yeah. Well, and he's one of our Sons of Slambo's original, man. I love him like another brother, and I can tell you, out of the people I've played, I've had some of the most epic, close, and amazing games with Carlson. And I do believe, if I recall, he owned the city of Houston there for a little while.
If I
recall correctly.
Yeah, we were still all very new, so
yeah,
you can have it for a little while. He took it from Kyle Valdez at that point. He didn't take it from us, so he didn't have it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, and as Dan was talking about, in 2019 at Warzone Houston, the Houston event for Texas Masters, that was me, Gavin, and Brian. That was all of our first singles GT for Sigmar. And we went, and we were all undefeated. Me and Gavin were undefeated coming into day 2. And round 4, Carlson beat me, and round 5, Carlson beat Gavin.
Round 3, Carlson beat me.
Yeah, and round 3, he beat Brian. So he earned it. Mm-hmm. And he earned it and did well.
Technically, he might be able to get this.
After that run.
Just saying.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be able to pull off those.
For a little bit. It's been like Book of Boba Fett. He's been in a back to take, but he's ready to come out and fight.
Yeah, well, he's still the only player to ever beat both me and Gavin. So we'll see.
In the same event. Yeah.
Yeah, GT, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like he's playing Keltnar with the Shadow Queen, obviously, always. An Iron Scale. 3 units of 10 Blood Sisters, the melee snakes, and a unit of 10 Blood Stalkers, the shooty snakes. So he likes his snakes, this guy.
Yeah, Melusa Iron Scale in there for the run and charge, so you can run and charge or run and shoot, so they can go flying super fast. The whole army retreats and charges, so if you leave 5 of those snakes in your lines and, they win the turn roll off, they'll just go retreating and running or retreating and charging all the way around and going to get stuff that you don't think they could get to, but Glass Cannon, Keltnar version of it is even more glass cannon than some of the other builds you see like this with Agnar, who get the 5+3 rollable, feel no pain, and that kind of thing. So with this one, they're going to be real glass cannony, but 10 Blood Sisters in this build with Mind Razor will chop anything down. And he knows what he's doing. He's been playing this army longer than some of us have been playing this game. So I'm looking forward to seeing him back out on an army that he feels confident in. And so, he's like the rest of us. He doesn't like losing. He doesn't like it. So I'd like to see him come out here when he can, beat somebody else other than Jack Ratley at an event. Making fun of his Gargant showing at Houston.
Oh, man.
But it will be good to see him. I haven't seen him. I know Gavin and I were doing some work out in San Antonio last year and met up with him and got about half drunk. It just went to have dinner and some tacos or something. I don't remember what it was, but we ended up getting about halfway drunk, just from a nice little meeting, hang out and have a good time. But it'll be awesome to see everybody again. We've had such a huge gap, it feels like, from Dallas to this. It felt like it was longer than the other gaps that we've had in the season.
Yeah. I started talking trash with people at Walmart. It's just been too long. Having brother Carlson, a.k.a. Chance, back on the set will be awesome. So,
I can't wait for somebody.
Why are you guys not bringing Kyle
Valdez?
Yeah.
Because his wife's got him chained up in the basement and won't let him out.
Is it because of all the skin flicks that he did?
No. You know what it really is? He's a volunteer for their swim team. He runs their swim team or the whole swim league or something. Plus, he's a principal at a middle school, and they're in the middle of star testing, and he's the I guess the one in charge of all the star testing. Also, it's just bad timing.
I don't know who I'm going to harass now. All right.
Oh, there'll be plenty of us walking around
that deserve it too. All right, so moving on, we have Andrew Fournier, who's listed as Harambe's Heroes this time around. This guy is a pillar of the Houston community. He runs the main local here in town at Atomic Coffee Shop.
Yep.
Really good guy. Knows the game pretty well. Plays Seraphon, so he's going to be a tough out.
Yeah, when the world stopped playing Age of Sigmar and y'all saw Houston still showing scores every month, it was because of this guy and Atomic Hobby Shop. They stayed open. Granted, we had to do a lot of obviously the protocols, masks, and things like that. But I think we only took like a month off, maybe 2, during the spike, and then they started bringing us back in there. Obviously, with some being spread out and having masks on, but this guy has really been the backbone of why Houston is as good as we are, because he's steady. He runs a tournament. We're always, we were up to like consistently 20 people showing up to that tournament on a regular basis there for a little while. So,
yeah. And this time around,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to talk about his list.
Oh, yeah. I was just saying, when you go through a 20-man local that has Zachary Kennedy, Gavin, James West, Chris Schelling, Matt Robish coming in from Austin, like that's a crazy little local event that he was putting together over there.
Yeah, it's like a mini Texas Masters each month there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were envious watching that. That was pretty cool. But now we got to catch up, and it ain't happening.
It could very well.
Well, not this year. We're going to have to probably take it. We're on our way.
We love Slambo. I wish y'all the best of luck, but it ain't happening this year. It ain't happening this weekend.
But you know what? One of the things that we will do is we'll always have more fun than everybody else.
That's true. That's true. So he's playing an Engine of the Gods with all the fixins. He's got an Astrolith Bearer, a Priest, a Star Priest, a Star Seer for trying to take away somebody's save, Slant Star Master, a couple minimum units of Saros Knights to screen and throw out a bunch of attacks when he needs them to, 30 Skinks to take some buffs and kill shit, and then 2 Solar Engine Bastillodons who are going to be his backbone, his workhorse. And it looks like he correctly put Prime Target on there, which was missing from a few things, but he put Prime Target in accordance with Dan's pack like he was supposed to. So that's good on him.
I know. There may be sportsmanship points around that.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, and then it's funny. I mean, you don't mind marking your Bastillodons because what the hell kills them anyway? Like,
right?
They should be like 15 points for bringing one of those things down. Even if you get enough damage on it to actually apply some rend to it, it's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to fight at the top. And I have a 1+ save characteristic at my top bracket. So,
yeah, it's kind of a joke that they're targets, but it's funny. And then
he and I played. This is a good list, man. There's some tools in there.
Yeah, we in practice, me and him traded games pretty consistently, so that's definitely a strong list. He knows what he's doing with it. He's a good player. I would expect to see him near the top 10 at Slambo.
Yeah, there's a 3D charge in there. Yeah, I would say so too. I don't think he does any worse than 4-1, and he could definitely 5-0 with this list.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on to the next one, we have Andrew Graham, who's listed at Harambe's Heroes as well. We have a big showing this time around. Definitely love to show up and support our San Antonio brethren.
Thanks, man. I love you guys. We love you too.
Andrew Graham is a good friend. So I've not actually met Andrew, but he's a really good friend of Hunter Robinson, who is the Texas raffle king, wins every single one, including, we were all laughing because at Dallas, we knew he was going to win a raffle, and lo and behold, he did.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun. But he's playing Fire Slayers, Greyford. He has a Arc Runefather on foot with the +1 to charge command trait and a bubble, and the 3+ ward for a phase artifact. He's got a Rune Master with a Volatile Brazier, which is going to let him reroll the chanting roll when he tries to bring out his invocation and double its range. So it's going to make that go pretty far.
Wicked.
Yeah. He's got Curse as his prayer, but it's important to note that the Rune Masters know the whole prayer lore as well. So he actually knows like 7 or 8 prayers when you count the generics too.
Yeah.
He's got a Rune Son of Magmadroth with the War Axe and Axe of Grimnir, which is going to pump up that War Axe and make it Rend 2, damage 3. So it's going to do a lot of damage. And it also affects the proc of its Mortal Wound ability. And Cold Ancient, which makes it basically Seraphon Coalesced in combat. So it makes it pretty tough. He's got a Rune Son on foot.
Damage by 1.
Yeah, Rune Son on foot. A Battlesmith with the Magic Negate artifact. And the Battlesmith is the one with the 4 rally. So his list is going to probably crux around the Battlesmith. And then he's got 2 10 blocks of Hearthguard Berserkers with the Mortal Wound Axes. 3 10 blocks of Volkite Berserkers with Sling Shields for screening. And then he's got that Infernoth is that invocation he's going to be casting with the Rune Master.
I would like to see a bigger block of these Volkites after you and I playing. I know how hard it is to get a block of these off the table with a Battlesmith sitting in the middle. Like, they're what Mortek and a Harbinger were, you know. Yeah, that's what it was, right? The Harvester. They're what the Harvester and Mortek were and why they were so good for so long. You have a compact version of that right here.
Yeah. The bigger, I agree with that. The bigger the units, and if you have a Battlesmith, the bigger units, the better off you'll fare, in my opinion.
Yeah, because you can kill 10 of them. Like, you think you fielding them, you think, oh, they're really tough to kill, but you can kill 10 of them rather easy.
Yeah. Especially with Mortal Wound output and just, some of the little gags. No,
with all the damage.
Is the Infernoth. Have you guys, I haven't seen people play those much. Is there a trick to those, or is it just 70 points?
70 points, and he wanted to spend those points on something and didn't want to take another Rune Sun, so he decided to bring the Infernoth. Gives some extra mortal wounds, and it's actually a huge model. So he's going to be trying to block space with it too, probably.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
All right, move on to the next one. We have Angel Alvarez, a son of Slambo.
Yeah, cool guy too. Yeah, no, he's a great guy. He's been showing up to Sons of Slambo night and getting raucous and having a good time. So he's known here locally for being an outstanding sport. So whoever plays him is going to have a good time. And,
so you guys have a night like that out there? Was that like Fridays?
So it's kind of crazy. Right now, we've got so many nights, it's not even funny. We have some of our amazing sponsors. We have Night Watch Games, who's been a tried and true. So we play there Friday. We go to Heroes Retreat, I think, on Sundays. I think Saturday is Battle Pub. I'm probably getting this all wrong, and Tyler's going to lose his mind. But there's the Arena. There's Hole in the Wall Hobbies. I know I'm forgetting somebody, and I'm going to feel terrible about it later. But, most of those places have been, great supporters of ours. Dragon's Lair, Thomas out there, they just ran a great tournament. So we've actually had to start putting out notices on where to be because there's so many places that, it's a target-rich environment.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I would like to have something more like that, like a night for us. It's just hard for us to get all together in one place with the way we do go to the store where Zach works every now and then, but
it's so big.
Yeah. I always forget how big it is. I was just there for business, and in my mind I'm like, oh, it's not that far, and so trying to hook up with you guys, you're like, that's a 30 to 40 minute drive without traffic, and I just
and we're in the Galleria too, so it's 30 to 40 minutes to get to the traffic of the Galleria before we got another 30 minutes to get to meet you.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I always forget as many times as I've been there.
Yeah, Houston's huge. It's a cool list.
I love his list.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, his
list is hilarious.
Yeah, he's a chariot fanatic. He's going to be right up in your face right away.
Yeah, I love these things. I think they're
He's got
if
the
it weren't for
pine.
dragons, I think these things would be doing really well. I think dragons just do it better, but these things are hilarious when they go off and do like he rolls a bunch of mortal wounds on their charge and
Right.
Was that 5? Is it 5 total chariots he has in there? Because I got one off to the side.
yeah, it's 5.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, the other
and
thing
then
is
all
nobody
3
will nobody's going to go, complain about the dragons all day, but no one's going to complain about the chariots until after they hit.
Yeah. Until they get charged by 5 of them at once and take like a bazillion mortal wounds.
Yeah,
Right.
you realize it was like getting charged by 5 stone horns. Like,
yeah,
yeah, we're wishing him good luck.
for sure. He's also got Bastion and Celestin Prime spitting out mortals too. So this list does a ton of mortal wounds once he gets close to you.
And even the Vindictors do mortal wounds on the hit, right? Don't they do on the hit roll of 6?
Sixes, yeah. And then they all explode when they die.
Mm-hmm.
So this looks like fun.
Mm-hmm.
And he's playing with Stormkeep, so those Vindictors are going to count as 2 and 3 models on objectives. So he's got the ability to hold his home objectives fairly well and also like run yours down as well. So slower armies, like on a couple of the missions that we've seen, are really going to, because there's some missions where, your objectives are on your side of the table and being able to do a conquer or something like that, you got to get to the other side of the board, and this will do that pretty well.
I don't see his Holy Command listed, but I imagine it's probably Call for Aid.
Oh, yeah, more than likely.
He doesn't have it, does he?
I would expect it to be Call for Aid with this.
It's probably Call for Aid. So it's actually like 5 more Vindictors in this list. So
Angel,
as soon as one batch of those Vindictors go away, come right back.
But yeah, we can move on to the next one.
Okay. This is our first tough guys list.
Yeah. Anthony Trentinelli. So I don't know Anthony. I know of him as a good player from Gavin and Brian. He's from Tough Crowd, playing Skaven Tide, Clan Scryer. And I think Brian's met him, so I think I'll let Brian talk here. Yeah,
this is a really cool list. I mean, it's fun. It's something that we looked at in the Skaven book when 3.0 came out, like how nasty this could actually be. 9 Storm Fiends are a problem, especially when he's launching them across the Soul Screen Bridge, so they're wherever he wants them all the time. The Scryer Acolytes are just objective holders, but they can do some damage as well, doing all the mortal wounds that they have capability of. But 9 Storm Fiends are going to blow you off the table if you don't know what to do. Not to mention, does he have Warp Lightning? Yep, there it is, Warp Lightning. Oh, man, this is going to be fun to see it go. Thankful is going to tear open everybody like me that is sitting there with 40 zombies thinking they're going to charge something and kill everything. Well, Thankful will delete that shit like it wasn't there. So,
are you familiar with how those warp fire projectors work, Dan?
Oh yeah, they are complete filth. Daniel Dawson uses them here in town, and before he passed away, Mighty Tom Ferris, rest his soul, was accused of killing many, many, many more models than he should have reasonably been able to with those.
It's like, I guess looking at the play, probably a lot is going to be Skitter Leap up there, and then pop your Vortex and really slow everybody's movement down. And then if you can get that thing into a good place, like you can really just stop movement on a lot of people's armies. Because, I mean, it's hard to get that thing off the table. Once it hits, you got to roll a 9 to get it off the table. Once it's, I've had whole games go that I haven't been able to get it off the table. And then Storm Fiends are brutal shooting, and they're really good in combat too. So it's a good list. It's really good list. I'm actually excited to see it go. I'm excited to see all these guys. If you've never been at one of these tournaments with the Tough Crowd guys, they're hilarious. I saw Jacob take his shirt off at the table and tell his opponent how handsome he was while he was deciding on who was going to take priority. I don't know if that was the exact order of how it went down, but I saw it. I think it was pretty funny.
I have such a mental picture now. Just watching their Twitter battles between Anthony and Jacob Berry has been fantastic. So
yeah,
they are definitely cut from the same cloth as the folks down here at the Texas.
It's really cool that Texas is now on the map as an actual destination spot for Age of Sigmar tournaments. Like people are coming here more often, and for a while it was very closed off. It was like there was like a wall around Texas, and nobody came in here because they all thought we were trash. And then,
well, we could still be trash, but be fun.
Yeah,
True.
it's going to be a blast. But this list is going to be a handful. You got to know what it does. It's got more warp power, or more warp power. Yeah, it's going to be reroll all hits and wounds on those things. It's going to be a handful.
Yeah, it's probably got the highest DPS of any list here, the highest damage output of any list in the whole tournament. If you stand in front of it, you'll just lose your whole army. So you have to know how you go about attacking it.
Yeah.
And a little bit of luck that your units don't blow themselves up.
Also true. Also true for most Skaven stuff.
That's why I brought two. That's why I brought two Arch Warlocks, because one of them's going to pop himself at some point.
Right,
I brought a spare. That's why he's got it on both of them.
Well, we'll go on to Austin Parisi from Austin Weird Knobs.
City of inferior tacos.
So Austin's bringing Stormcast Eternals, Hallowed Knights, Scions of the Storm. So a deep striking list, as opposed to the stand and hold Stormkeeps. So Celestin Prime and Gardas. Gardas giving the 5-up ward to everything around him in a bubble. The Lord Relictor.
Their superhero pose, too.
Yeah. The Lord Relictor with the admittedly bullshit 2+ rerollable teleport. 2 units of 5 Liberators, a unit of 5 Vindictors, 6 Vanguard Raptors with long strikes, and 10 Protectors with Emerald Lifestorm. So he's deep striking with the Protectors, staying on the board and double shooting, because he's got Thunderbolt Volley, I see.
Yeah.
To shoot twice.
It's like an updated version of that Gen 1 long strike list. Like we've been seeing this slowly get perfected. I think a lot of people moved away from the long strikes and adjudicators, but it'll still tear you up with double shooting Raptors. Like if you're going to have to know how to screen those things out, and keep them away from your major important targets.
I think it's going to really come down for him. You'll see him at the top table unless he runs into. You'll see him at the top tables unless he runs into Thunder Lizard, because Thunder Lizard tears these lists apart if they don't have adjudicators instead of long strikes. But if he doesn't run into Thunder Lizard, which there's a decent chance he won't, and he doesn't run into Deepkin, a lot of Deepkin, which he might.
He's high drop too. It looks like. Yeah, it's pretty high drop too. So if he goes up against Deepkin, letting them pick the turn order, you could really run into some trouble. I mean, anybody, if you really want to be picking turn order with this list, I think you really want to be deciding who goes first with this. But then again, you're playing Scion, so everything's in the sky.
It's still really strong though, and nobody likes to get shot by those things. Even if you are coalesced, you don't like to get shot twice by Vanguard Raptors.
No.
So it's going to do a lot of damage, and I'm sure he'll do well with it. He's just got a couple landmines he's got to dodge.
Yeah, I mean, anything that's strong enough to survive the double shooting 6 Raptors and then be able to be fast enough to close the distance on them, it'll be a problem.
Yeah.
Like
this is another list that didn't mark their priority targets. So those Vanguard Raptors are priority targets there.
Well done.
Yeah, that's 2 points. That's a reinforced unit, right? 2 points.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's a clever player, so I think even if he gets into some of these bad matchups, he's still got a shot.
Yeah, for sure. You always have a shot.
Was he playing Legion in Dallas? Is that what he was playing?
I think so, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think he was playing Legion of the First Prince with Scarbrand and the Rage Thirster, I think, and that is what he was playing.
I think I like this list better.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same speed bumps.
Next, we have Basil in Ferreira, which I'm sure I butchered that, and I'm sorry, Basil. From Tough Crowd, playing Seraphon Thunder Lizard. Do you know Basil?
I've never met him. No, I've not met him.
No, but with a name like that, that's pretty cool. Hello, I am Basil in Ferrara.
Yeah.
I'm here to fuck you up.
Yeah.
I hope you have a cool exotic accent like that. versus something you hear at Tim Hortons. So we'll
He
find
definitely sounds like somebody that's looking for the six-fingered man.
I know his name's so cool. I got a half chubby just reading that.
And it looks like he's bringing the nails too. I mean, he's got Engine of the Gods with the Cloak of Feathers. He's got Skink Priest, Star Priest, Land. He does have a Carnosaur as well. 30 skinks, 10 skinks, 10 skinks. Reinforced Salamander, and then another Salamander, and then another Bastiladon. So he's got a bunch of good shooting, some really good buffs, a really cheap Carnosaur.
And then he can do combat if he wants to pretty well.
Yeah, all that stuff does combat. It does both really well.
Yeah.
It doubles up. The only thing, if you play him, just keep in mind the Salamanders and the Bastiladon are Prime Hunters. Again, they're not marked here, but obviously, if you're coming to a TT, you have that printed in your binder, right? For sure you do.
Yeah.
If you're coming,
I'm going to do one of these, though. It was in the pack.
Yeah. Hand of Glory is a reroll. Hit rolls of 1. Fusel's the one that breaks. If you're not familiar with all these, I would definitely look them up before you go walking into this one, or it's going to hurt. If you don't know what this does, if you go into this matchup blind,
yeah, you can't. You can't go into a Thunder Lizard matchup currently blind.
No, you're going to spend a half an hour going, it does what?
Yeah, it does that, and
like,
that, and that, and
you
that.
You just did 72 damage to me on turn 1. Yeah, well, yeah, we did that.
So I expect him to do well with this list. It's a strong list. I look forward to, at the end of the tournament, I want to talk to him, and obviously I want to meet him, but at the end of the tournament, I'm curious to see how much victory points the Salamanders end up giving up from prime targets. So that'll be an interesting thing to find out. See how much impact that ends up having on these games.
Yeah, the jury's out. I really don't know. I'm not going to make prediction.
Right.
Although I did predict that we missed somebody. We skipped somebody in the list.
Did we?
Yeah. Now it's somebody that the Sons of Slambo love dearly. Maybe Harambe's Heroes doesn't love him as much. And that's BJ Salas.
Oh, he's down on my list a little more, but we can go over BJ.
Yeah, he's down mine. Yeah, he's down on mine. We got Ben, Middle, Richardson
next.
And yours is fancier, so we'll follow your list. We'll go with BJ.
Oh, that's okay. I just didn't want him to feel unloved, and I don't know how it happened, but I'm grateful. It says he's part of Sons of Slambo. That's interesting.
Ours says,
"Oh yeah,"
or did you just change it?
Oh well, maybe I abused my powers as a TO. No, we love him. He's so split. He loves you guys. He loves us. We're having a fun time with him. So we're really glad that you lent him to us.
Dude, I've met him. Like the first time I met him, it was like, "Give me a hug, dude!" Like the first time you meet the guy. Like he's a awesome dude. I haven't had a lot of time with him, but every minute that I've had with him has been awesome. So
yeah, I know BJ pretty well. We're pretty good friends. He is such a good guy. He's one of the most fun people to hang out with in the scene, in my opinion. And he's fairly new to the competitive scene, but he's just here to have fun and try to take some heads while he's at it.
Oh yeah, he is such a delight. He's my newest favorite human. I mean, he's the loudest guy there. He's always having fun. He's quick to mix with everybody. I mean, I love that guy.
Yeah, and he doesn't care how the game goes. Doesn't matter. As long as everybody's laughing, good time.
So he's bringing his custom Grand Court for Flesh Eater Courts. Who he's actually written his own lore for this army. It's a lot of fun to see all that stuff when people do it.
Mm-hmm.
But he has an Arch Regent, a Ghoul King on Terrorgeist, Ghoul King on Zombie Dragon, Courtier, and then 2 9 blocks of Cryptors.
Yeah,
the meat, and then the 10 Crypt Ghouls. So
man, what is he doing for bravery? Where's he hitting your bravery? Like, I know
the horrors are not the bravery ones.
Oh, I'm thinking of the players that scream.
Yeah. No, the horrors are the troglodyte.
The punchy ones, the big nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do a ton of damage. No rend, but they do a ton of damage if you let them. Because they can buff up all their attacks and make them run and charge and add movement to them, and you can bump their damage with when they roll 6s to wound. it's honestly an incredible unit. They can double fight. Most people, and I mean, even he will play mostly through his Terrorgeist. Well, that thing does so much damage. And Arcane Tome and Flaming Weapon. This might be my favorite use of Flaming Weapon. I'm notoriously a hater on Flaming Weapon, but he on the Zombie Dragon, it's actually disgusting with the double fight and all the attack buffs he gets. And that thing does so much damage. It's still like the core, or not even core. It's the Ferrari of Age of Sigmar. It'll get beat up real quick, but it will go faster than anybody if you let it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of his opponents just be slack-jawed by the amount of damage it does.
Yeah, he said in Dallas in one turn he killed 2 Mega Gargants with the Terrorgeist. He killed one, used the fight twice, killed the second one.
That's my boy.
Rolling lots of 6s.
Terrorgeists are wild. There was a time, you guys remember Grizzled War, when Terrorgeists were a bane to Age of Sigmar. They were a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be fun. See BJ out there.
But as opposed to most lists, as I was going to say, he has the Cryptors backing it up. And those 9 blocks of Cryptors, a lot of people might ignore them because they're so used to the Terrorgeist tearing them up. But if you ignore them and let them do whatever they want, they will tear you up instead. So it's a nice wrinkle to have the two blocks of horrors, in my opinion.
Without a doubt.
So,
all right, so now that I've screwed up the system, who's next on your list?
Well,
so on our list, we have Ben Riddle.
Oh, all right. Same on mine. Cool. He's a great guy too, speaking of which.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Ben's funny.
He and I had a wicked game in Austin together. I mean, it came down to the wire. I don't even remember who won. I just remember it was so brutal. We were both like tired, sweaty, exhausted. I mean, I guess I don't remember. I think he won now that I think about it, but he's such a cool guy. I can't wait to play him again.
Yeah, he's like doing Slambo and then packing up to go to an internship in Chile. So
what? Really?
Yeah. He's an engineer grad from Texas A&M. I don't think he's quite graduated. He's getting close, and then he's going to an internship afterwards in Chile. So,
man, well, good for him. Gonna miss him though.
Yeah, I think it's like 2 or 3 months, and then he'll be back.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good for him. What a great experience.
Mm-hmm.
So Ben is bringing more Gaunt Flesh Eater Quartz. Another Flesh Eater Quartz list, but this is a bunch of courtiers bringing models back. He's got the Terrorgeist and the Zombie Dragon again, and a bunch of Crypt Ghouls. And he's trying to bring stuff back with the Chalice of Yushorin as well. So he's playing a bunch of regenerating Crypt Ghouls that he hides.
He can bring off board edges.
Yeah. He hides his big stuff behind it. Does the killing with that, and occasionally the Crypt Ghouls can kill you too. When they get the double fight and the extra attacks, they do pretty well.
Mm-hmm. And when they die, he brings them back off of a board edge and things like that. There's some tricks in here, but like the other one, everything's gonna play. All the killing's gonna play through those Terrorgeists and Zombie Dragon.
So that's good for Ben. I will say, looking at how many we have to do, we might have to stop gushing over everybody. We love everybody, so if we don't talk as much about you, it's probably just because we have to speed up to get through the half of the list that we're trying to go over tonight.
That's right. Because Zach doesn't like you.
That's exactly what it is. That's fine. But next we have Benjamin Richardson, a Dallas defender with Lumineth Realm Lords Lumnia.
We played in Austin. Is this his Austin? No, he's got no Sentinels, and he's got a couple of units of the Marty Reavers in there.
Yeah, so he's got 30 Wardens, 20 Wardens, 20 Wardens. Bunch of Wardens, and he's playing Alumnia. And what Alumnia is going to do is it's going to let all those Wardens auto run 6 and run a charge.
Ooh.
So, and if you get Speed of Fish on them, those Wardens are going to be moving 18 inches and charging. Yeah. So they're going to be real fast, and they have the 3-inch range on the spear. So if you're used to Lumineth not coming near you, this list is the opposite of that. It turns that paradigm on its head, and it comes right into your face and blows you up with all the lances.
Yeah, And he's got Severeth for all of the wind spirit tricks, and Benari Lord Regent is really good, especially outside of lists with Techless. He's really good.
Yeah, if he puts Lambent Lights on something, I need to go back and read it, but I'm pretty sure that's going to allow the Reavers to reroll hits.
Yes, because it says friendly units.
Yeah, so the Reavers and Severeth, if he gets that spell off, will be rerolling hits at their targets, and the Cathlar is going to take your CP away. So
yeah,
with Total Eclipse. So next, we have Brandon Escalara from Sons of Slambo.
Brandon. I love you, Brandon. Yeah, so he's bringing the cold-blooded list for a cold-blooded cool cat.
Yeah, he's got Seraphon.
Yeah.
Playing a Troglodon, a Carnosaur, an Astral Bear, an Old Blood, Bastillodon, Stegodon. Looks like he's Battle Scribe, so this is all mixed up. Saurus Guard, 10 of them. Saurus Knights, Warriors, Skinks. Ripperdactyls. What a man. Bring a Ripperdactyl.
Yeah, I'm looking for a slant. I don't see one. Am I just missing it? There's no slant.
No slant.
He doesn't have a slant. He's got big, cold-blooded balls.
Yeah, and he's playing Coalesce, but it looks like he's not playing a subfaction. So it's just straight Coalesce, no subfaction. So that he can get whatever artifact and command tree. Although it says Blade of Realities and Mighty War Leader, which that might be Kotal's Claw.
I can't remember, but I think you're right.
So he might actually be playing Kotal's Claw, and that's not correct. But regardless, I mean, he clearly looks like he's here to have fun. So I wouldn't worry too much about it with this.
You see that Arc of Sotek in there?
Yeah, dude. I love that people are finally seeing the light with that thing.
Mm-hmm.
All it took was me winning a GT with it to do it. But hey, here we go. But yeah, I hope he has fun with that. It looks like it's going to be a fun tournament for him.
Yeah, he'll have a good time. So will his opponents.
Next, we have Brandon Prescott with Tough Crowd. Do you know Brandon?
I don't think I've met Brandon, no.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of these guys that I haven't met that are coming out. It'll be cool to get to meet all these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, we could just make up something, you know. Brandon saved a group of orphans from a raging family.
Really? I heard about that.
Yeah. It was online, so it must be true. What's he got? He's got Greyford.
Yeah, Greyford, which is going to give all of his foot heroes an extra wound, and it's going to give him 2 free artifacts in addition to the ones he normally gets. He's got a Flamekeeper for getting a toll of Volkites as they die to get buffs. A Runefather with that Axe of Grimnir we talked about earlier, a Grimwrath, or a Battlesmith. 2 Grimwraths, both with artifacts that are going to make him way killier. And then a Rune Master General with Master Priest for the reroll. And Curse. We talked about the Rune Master stuff before. It looks like there's just a small error here. I'm sure that it's not intended. The Rune Master actually can't have that Nulcidian icon. That is probably meant to be on his Battlesmith, but maybe he got mixed up on this list building.
Maybe I can just change it from here.
Right. Yeah, probably.
Which one?
But I'm sure he knows about that. I'm sure that was an error on his part. He didn't mean for that. I'm like
the Nulcidian icon, right?
Yeah, that should be the Battlesmith. That can only go on a Battlesmith.
I got you, Brandon.
There you go. Then he's got 20 Volkites with shields, 2 units of 10 Volkites with axes, 2 10 blocks of Hearthguard with either weapon option, and these 11 drops. And that's his list. Hunters of the Heartlands. It's pretty solid list.
Hunters of the Heartlands. I mean, that has to be the most common battalion.
Yeah,
I mean, I went 2-drop, but it was hard to go double battle regiment and leave Hunters of the Heartland on the table. But
there's just so many strategies that revolve around having a command ability used in combat, and getting roared just tears so many strategies apart. So
makes sense.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if the new GHP, I shouldn't talk too much about it, but I'm interested to see if the new GHP takes that one away and what happens with that.
I'll be curious.
Yeah. But anyway, the Fire Service is very strong. I'm sure Brandon will do well with it. Tough crowd, so I'm sure he knows what he's doing. Next is Brian Bradley, who's another friend of ours. He should be listed as Harambe's Heroes, but I guess it didn't get put in.
Is he? Okay, I can change him. There was a couple of folks that said they wanted to be mercenaries. So, but if
maybe he wants to. I don't know. But he's best friend. So. He is like literally Hunter Robinson's best friend in the whole world.
Okay,
they do everything together. They hang out all the time. Brian's a hilarious guy. If you get to play with him, you will really enjoy your game.
All right, but he's Harambe's Heroes now, unless he complains.
All right, perfect. He's playing Dom Hain, Ida Deepkin. Oh, interesting. We'll do one little story. Sorry, I know I said we weren't supposed to, but the origin of me and Gavin playing Age of Sigmar was actually because of this Brian and Hunter.
No kidding.
So that first year they were going to Adepticon to play doubles, and they wanted somebody to practice with. And me and Gavin at the time were playing other miniature games. And we were friends with them, so we said, hey, we'll play with you. Do you have armies we could use? So we borrowed a couple of armies. And that was when I started playing Seraphon, because I borrowed Seraphon, and Gavin borrowed Khorne at the time. And while we were practicing with them, we were like, oh wait, this game is really fun. Let's play. Let's go too. So we went to Adepticon and we went 3-0 with Adepticon in doubles, and the rest, we just kept going from there. And that was our origin. What
kills me about that is you guys were there and we were there and we didn't know each other then.
No,
I still remember.
I wish we did.
Going, I wonder where they're from.
Yeah. So Brian and Hunter, when we come up to them, they're the reason me and Gavin play this game, and cool. So much of what our club does now. So. Really cool to see him coming out to events again. But he's playing Dom Hain, which is going to be your typical Namardi faction. He does have a block of 6 Morsar that he wants to roll around with his king and missile into things. He's got the Thralls there for doing typical Dom Hain killing, and some Reavers. So a pretty strong list, very solid. I would expect him to do pretty well. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it.
Yeah, these Thralls, if you underestimate them, will just chop you up. If you walk into it, they'll just chop you up.
Yep. Get in the mother fishing boat.
Yeah. But yeah, really good guy. You will, I would encourage anybody who doesn't know him to go meet him and hang out with him. He's hilarious. Next, we have Brian Fox, who's from Sons of Slambo.
Oh, yes. Father Fox. So you may not know this, but he's a bona fide minister. So,
oh, really?
Yes. So we're on the way out there. He always speaks to us in Latin. I ride the bus, you ride the bus, we all ride the bus. Cool guy. I love Brian. He did really well in some of our local tournaments with this list.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, so I won't be able to get specific about it, but what he does is he got Dragon Knights and all sorts of nice hits. So he's got 2 Stormdrake guards twice. So he's going to be up on you right away. A lot of the Vanguard Raptors with long strike crossbows. So he's pretty good at shooting from a distance. But he played. I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was Hunter Robinson for the overall championship at that tournament. Did extremely well with this. And you guys will have to. I can't remember what Thundershock does as a spell.
Thundershock, it's just a damage spell.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think so. It might have some small debuff to it also. I don't remember it right off the top of my head. It's rarely ever.
I'm sure a lot of the time he's going to be casting Mystic Shield with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably. All I know is our holy man will be doing something unholy with this list.
Yeah, for sure. This list is really strong. It was dominating the meta, very similar list to this, all of January and February. Very strong list.
I think the only pitfall is there's a lot of Idneth out there, which are going to, his Vanguard, he's going to rely on his dragons to get a lot done, because if he brings those Vanguard up and double shoots them, and then the dragons don't get a lot done on that first turn, then the long strikes are exposed, and then he just loses them on turn 1, and you don't want to pay 500 points for a unit that's going to shoot twice in the whole game and then get blown off the board. So he's going to have to play it very gingerly when he's playing against this deepkin stuff.
Yeah, agreed. Next is Brian Hindo from Dallas.
Hindo!
I'm pretty sure he was one of the TOs. I'm not pretty sure. I know that he was one of the TOs at the Dallas event. Really, really good guy. I'm pretty sure he runs the store that
Texas Toy Soldiers.
Texas Toy Soldier. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's in Carlson, if I remember right.
Which is an awesome store from what I've heard. I haven't been there myself yet, and I really want to go. But he's a good guy, and he does good things for their community. He sponsors their events and their club and whatnot. And he is playing a man's list this time around. So he's playing Carriage and Overlords, and normally when people hear Carriage and Overlords, they clench their butt cheeks a little bit, and they get ready for a bunch of shooting in a Warp Lightning Vortex. But that's not what Hindo's doing. He's not going to do that to you. He's playing Barrack Zahn, which is the Skywarden melee balloon boy list, with a couple frigates, with some thunders in them, a drill cannon gun hauler, and then those units of Skywardens to go melee around.
Yeah, he's still got some shooting, but he can knock you off of objectives. Like, it gives you the ability. That was always one of their weakest things, is being able to kill you off an objective and claim it at the same time. This list can do both, so it's pretty cool.
And that dirigible suit Injury Master is super killy with that hammer. And the Bearer of the Iron Star lets him resurrect himself. So he's not as easy to kill as you would think. And the new Admiral War Scroll with the White Dwarf lets him take away your ward saves if he wants to. So those Thunderers can get up and reroll all their hits with that flare pistol. And then he can take away your ward saves with the Admiral. And then that dirigible suit Injury Master with the Wardens will, like, clobber you.
That'd be a fun list to play against.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It looks fun. And, kudos to him for trying to make something beyond the, like, mathematical best option work. Always fun to see when people go outside the box with these kind of builds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a fun guy. I would expect nothing less.
Yeah. Next is Brian.
Our first giant list?
Do what?
Yeah, Giants.
Wow, finally.
Yeah, Brian Faber, Asta Weird Knob is playing Giants. I don't have a ton to say about Giants. I don't know if I've met Brian yet. He marked priority target. So even though everybody knows that, I would hope at this point. But all those Giants are priority targets, and they're worth 2 each.
That's right.
But he's playing 3 of them and an Incarnate.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying something new here. 3 Gatebreakers. There's a ton of Ren. There's like so much Ren in this list. It's nasty. But yeah, I mean, he's going to roll around the board. You know what Giants do. I don't have to say much about this list, I think.
No, they're going to run up. Yeah.
Next is the show's own Brian Lofton from Harambe's Heroes.
Ooh, that's sexy man.
This is a list here. It's pretty good, I think.
It is.
Let's see how it goes out.
You wanna just tell everyone what's in the list, and maybe I'll talk about it. If you don't want to talk about yourself.
I went with Manfred. It was funny that I was at a local tournament. I was supposed to go to what is it in Vegas?
LVO?
Yeah, I was supposed to go to LVO, and I ended up having to give my ticket away because my wife's been dealing with some, cancer and stuff, and she had a surgery, and so I stayed here. But I was sitting there, like, having the itch of I'm supposed to be at a GT right now, and looking at the internet at 1 o'clock in the morning, literally, and I found out that the Austin dudes were going to a tournament in College Station. So I was like, no, they're way too close to Houston not catch these hands. So at 1 o'clock in the morning, I decided I was going to College Station in the morning to play at a tournament. And Matt Robich was there. We both went 3-0, but we didn't play each other. But he was playing the table behind me, and I saw the way that, like, the stuff he did with Manfred. And I was like, done deal. I went home and got a Manfred, I got a Soul Blight list. So it's Manfred. You know what he does. He's got pinions, so he can move really fast. You can't tie him down in combat. He'll just bail. Necromancer with Master of Magic and Morbeg's Claw. That's going to let him. He can't move, he can't fight, he can't do anything, but he gets +2 to casting in a bubble for Soul Blight Wizards. A Legion of Night Wizards specifically. If I were to throw, Belladonna or somebody in there, they wouldn't get it. But the Vampire Lord, him, and Manfred are going to get pluses on their casting. Both of my vampires, him and Manfred, have pinions because getting plus 6-inch movement is just better than what the other stuff they had access to. His War Scroll spell is probably what he's going to cast most of the time, which is the Dance Macabre that's going to let a unit fight twice. Spectral Grasp is what he has. That one's pretty cool too. I actually stranded a Kragnos on a piece of terrain that he was sitting on, and the guy failed to roll over a 6. So Kragnos couldn't even get enough movement to get off the terrain and got mobbed by zombies and died. A 20 block of skeletons, a 20 block of Graveguard, and then 2 40 blocks of Deadwalker zombies. And then obviously Radicar's in there too, and he's going to summon his wolves and things. It's a tricky list. It's a 2-drop, so I can usually dictate turn order. I can null deploy. There's a lot, but if Zach, you want to say anything, you go on ahead.
Yeah, I played against Brian a couple times with this. It's extremely high skill cap and an extremely low skill floor army. So you could see a lot of people running around with lists like this, and you might see them go 1 and 4. But in the right hands, this list wins tournaments, in my opinion. There's a couple like landmines, I'm sure, but the zombies with all the buffs, if you move them correctly and you do, it's backbreaking work moving this many zombies that many times and getting them all perfect. It's very micro intensive, but if you do it all really well, it's extremely hard to beat. Constantly regenerating and piling in 6 inches everywhere and twice, and definitely a very good list. Very good pilot too. Brian's come a very long way since 2019 as a pilot in Age of Sigmar.
I didn't even know what anyone else's stuff did back then.
Yeah.
Hey, you familiar with my army? You know what it does? Nope, I've read the Blades of Corn book. I'll know what your stuff does in about an hour and a half, probably.
So he's going to be in the running for winning the event, in my opinion. Especially
forget some little steps.
He loves Manfred, especially after Matt Robish from Austin opened up a lot of local people's eyes on what Manfred's really capable of in the right hands.
Yeah, it's not what you think it is. A lot of people just see it as a defensive thing. But no, Manfred, everything he's I've gotten. I don't want to say I've mastered Manfred, but I definitely have gone from trying to keep Manfred safe to no, Manfred is a slingshot. You throw him in, you do what you want, you get him in position to buff. He's a buff piece. He does decent damage, but he's a buff piece.
Master of all trades, honestly.
Yeah, he's really good at a lot of things. And unless you got a lot of guns, you're not going to kill him. Oh, he's definitely a distraction.
Yeah. Speaking of
this list
distractions,
is
has anybody
make
checked
you...
on Evan to make sure he's still alive?
How you doing, Evan? Perfect.
Okay. All right.
Now, this list is my philosophy on this list is I'm going to make my opponent make as many decisions as possible in a game. And if I make you make 100 decisions, you're going to pick a wrong one at some point. Because I'm going to null deploy most of the time. I'm going to give you the turn with nothing on the board. Because Legion of Night lets me put a unit in the grave and put a unit in outflank in reserves, so I can put 1 unit on the board and 2 off. So there's a lot of little tricky stuff. The things that will be on the board will have a +1 save that turn from Legion of Night. It's a fun little list. I mean, there's been a lot of people that have had a lot of success with similarities of a similar list. I just had some things that I didn't want to not put in there, like Radicar and Manfred. Those things were going in there, whether it messed the whole list up or not. So, but I think it's pretty good. I've had pretty good success with it.
Sweet. I'm expecting a top 10 performance.
Yeah, he's a favorite, I think. Probably. Don't want to put that much pressure on him because he'll put too much on himself.
But I'm gonna get the juice.
I mean, I had to stop bringing ogres because they were too good, so I had to get something.
I'm straight. Well, you don't want to look good every time.
Yeah, I mean, the Iron Guts were too good.
Right. We got
So
next. We got Price. Yes.
Yep.
Price.
Yeah,
Bryce Percy from Dallas.
Dallas.
And this is
Bring
the
it
one I wish we had
forward.
Evan talking for.
Another man list here.
Yeah.
He's bringing rock guts.
That's right.
Bellwaters.
Man. I just
Oh,
got
he's got the
extra from looking at
Marshcrawler
this
in there
list.
too.
Yep.
So he's the one that gives them +1 to hit, right? Or is that the Sludge Ranker? No, that's Marshcrawler. Okay, cool. So these trolls will be running around with +1 to hit, hidden like bricks, or so.
It's a bunch of reinforced units. Like, that's a lot of meat in each of those units.
And a Ragnarok fighter in there too.
Yeah.
Plus Fungoid, Cave Shaman, Hand of Gort. So he'll be teleporting them around, which is cool. And then they have they'll be resurrecting a lot.
Yeah.
If the moon's in the right place, are they able to run and charge off of the moon if it's in the right place? No. That's only the swigs that get to do that.
Wigs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
They reroll their heals. Okay, yeah.
But definitely, it's a lot of meat. He's going to move up the board and dare you to come into him in the wrong place so that he can whop you upside the head with all the Troggoths. I'm interested to see how he does with it. Definitely a decent list.
Evan took a similar list to Austin, right? And went 4-1 with that, right, Evan? Did you go 4-1 with something similar?
Yeah, he didn't have a slug. Yeah, but he did. Yeah. So it can play well if you get the right matchups and. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're now hunters. That's true.
Oh,
that helps them too.
The whole faction is hunters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's not listed, but he is a hunter, so he'll get double points when he kills your targets.
That's right.
And they can do it.
Yeah. After Bryce, we have Bud Keeler. I'm sorry if I butchered that one. Also from Tough Craft.
Game Spawn.
That's right. We're talking manly man list right here.
This is the Zangor and Lightning on disc list. Yeah, on disc. Yeah. So this one.
Beast
this
of
list
Chaos.
Is so manly, it's going to go out for cigarettes and never come home.
Yeah.
Beast of Chaos. This isn't your daddy's Beast of Chaos from a year or two ago. Beast of Chaos is in a really good spot right now with their White Dwarf changes. We haven't seen them perform a lot just because there hasn't been a lot of people on them. But no joke, Beasts of Chaos are legitimately strong right now with all the changes their White Dwarf gave them. Those Enlightened will tear you apart with all the extra rend. The Zangors with the 4-up rally from the Herdstone.
Yeah, and the Mortal Wounds.
Yeah. Wild Rampage from... It looks like he put on Rash Rack. I don't know if that's the one I'm thinking of. But one of their spells lets them, like, have a giant delete another giant. Gavin was using it when he played them in New Orleans. But definitely a solid list. It also has a strength in that it's relatively unknown in the competitive community right now. So I think he'll catch a lot of people off guard with this.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't know anything about it, how do you even deploy against it?
Right, exactly.
I expect a Greyhorn after each victory.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would expect this to do pretty well.
It is game spawn, so he'll be summoning a lot of spawn too, and with the way that the new terrain piece with all the extra rend and, like you said, the 4+ rally now, it's like they are legitimately good. These 4+ rallies keep coming.
Yeah, and Gazmon's going to let him give a bunch of extra attacks to the Enlightened when they go in. So if they go in turn 3, they could have 2 extra rend on all their attacks and have a bunch of extra attacks from Gav Spawn. Or at least 1 now. The heroes kind of step down. So I expect this to do well. Next, we have Carl Ong
from Season of War.
Yeah.
That's one of the guys from Canada, huh?
Yeah,
Yep.
if you haven't ever watched some of their battle reports, Season of War does some amazing things. So we're really excited to have them down. And they're going to set up some cameras and film some of the games.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Season of War. I was really worried about them when GW came out with Season of War Thondia. I thought that was like directly going to try to trademark their podcast or their battle reports.
But yeah, it's cool to see Season of War coming down. It's a long trip for them. I mean, same for the most of the Tough Crowd guys too. Really
Yeah,
cool
and
to
they're all
draw.
good. I'm telling you what, man. I grew up near Canada. I used to sneak in there to get health care when I was poor. Good folks.
So it looks like he's playing Mag Canonurgle, Drowned Men, which is one of the mortals of factions, with Blowab, Lord of Afflictions, 10 Blight Kings, and then a bunch of the flies, the Pusco Blight Lords.
Yeah.
He's gonna drop that overpowering stench right in the middle of wherever you were planning on putting your command points. This is dirty. I like it.
Yeah.
Blowab's really tough to kill. I mean, the whole list is extremely tough to kill. Holds objectives really well. Extremely good at killing hordes, especially the Blight Kings.
Oh yeah.
So he'll have some matchups.
Even the Blight Lords are too. They're really good. I mean, their only downfall is they don't usually have a lot of rend, but they don't need it for the horde stuff. They don't. Against my list, this army would be. I would have to really play cagey.
Yeah, if I was playing a Soul Blight list, I would be scared of this list and lists like it. They do pretty well into those. So, again, I mean, more of these out-of-towners playing these really strong lists, and I'm sure they're good players too. I look forward to meeting the Season of War guys. I haven't been able to meet a lot of these guys yet.
Yeah, I love watching them online. They've been fun to talk to. Oh, we got Chris Carlisle next. You guys know Chris very well?
I do not.
So Chris used to come out to our Port Maw charity events where we would do, worldwide apocalypse battles, both for AOS and 40K. And he was one of the 40K players. He had some incredible Eldar armies. So I've been really excited to see him kind of back in the fold playing AOS. So he's a dirty rat these days playing Skaven Tide.
Looks like it. You know, walk us through the list?
Yeah, I'll do my best. Skaven is usually the one where I'm just laughing the whole time as it's either blowing me up or blowing itself up. But he's got the Arch Warlock with a Vial of the Fulminator. And then my ever favorite, Thanquil and Bone Ripper. So, we were talking about those braziers and projectors. So he's just going to wash people with those. And then I forget which Vermin King Lord Screech is. You guys remember which one? Because there's like 4 of them.
He's the named one, so he's the unique one.
He's the unique one? Okay. I can't remember.
Most of
Daniel
them have-
Boston plays like 3 or 4 of them in one of his lists, so I can always get him confused.
Isn't he the one that the dwarf came down off of the throne and squeezed him to death with his bare hands? In the one right before the end times?
No, you're thinking of old Kyle, the Clan Morris guy.
Queek. It was
Queek.
Head take. Queek, whatever. Yeah.
Queek head take. I got it behind me somewhere. But he's got a bunch of blocks of rats. But I think his main piece is to kind of gum up the lines and hold objectives, and then just do insane amounts of damage with the other units
with warp lightning cannons. Yeah.
And those are, they're not reliable, but man, they're hilariously effective when they work.
Yeah. They're one of my quintessential, if you want to know what it's like to be a Skaven player, just go read the Warp Lightning Cannon and imagine all the outcomes. It's wildly very varied.
The Doom Wheels are funny too. Do they still have the rule that if you when you're rolling for their movement, that if you, I don't remember the exact wording, but
your
your
opponent,
opponent
if you roll
move it?
a double or triple. Yeah, if you roll a double, your opponent gets to move it.
Yep. Vroom, vroom, bitches.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's pretty awesome. Next is Chris Cole with Hangover Heroes.
Yeah, and let me, I just got to say, I'm so glad that the Hangover Heroes are here. Some of you guys that only existed after the Rage of Sigmar, we've been all playing together for 20 plus years in many cases, and Chris is just a hell of a fun guy. As a matter of fact, too, I didn't mention after the last couple of years, 3 of the Slambo awards are named after people that we've all lost, and one of them is an old Hangover hero named David Bowman, who is a wonderful sportsmanship guy, and so affectionately, he's going to be the Sportsmanship Award. And we had to give a nod to the old Hangover heroes in the scenario pack too, so they can outdrink any human I've ever seen, and I will bet my paycheck on it. They are amazing.
Yeah, they will hold their own with anybody. They were when we were running Houston this year. They were always messing with us when we were trying to TO, like dumping bachelorette party confetti all over our computer up front on the table, and walking up to Kyle and putting his hair.
You may not know this, but Chris Cole here, they actually were watching his house while he was gone, so they put that glitter on every single ceiling fan in his house.
Oh no!
Excellent. So these guys are hilarious. Anybody who doesn't know them, hasn't met them yet, I would seek out the Hangover heroes and meet them if I were you. Really good guys.
He's got a funky list too. So he's got Aberrant Ghoul King, but a couple of those, one on a Terrorgeist, of course, but then he's got Big Drog Fort Kickers, so a little Gargant action in there.
Yeah.
So, 3 small units of Crypt Ghouls, Arch Regent, and he's got the Emerald Life Swarm, so he's gonna be doing a lot of healing. So I don't know. It's kind of a goofy list, but I think Chris is gonna have a fun time with this.
Oh yeah, he's here for a long time. He's here for a good time. Yeah, he's gonna have a good time.
Looks like he wants to play Giants, but kill a lot more things. So that's what he's trying to do.
All right.
So after Chris, we have So this is the reason we had a Best Chris Award at Houston. The next Chris, out of 5 or however many, Chris Creech from Harambe's Heroes in Houston. Creech, legendarily known now in the Texas community as the Binder Man. Before every event, he compiles in his huge binder that he carries around and studies and takes to the event and looks at before each game. He prints out a list and writes notes on each list in the whole tournament, like what they do, what his best strategies and with his list against it is. And before each round, whoever he gets paired with, he just flips to the page where he reviewed that army and wrote notes on it and rereads his notes and refreshes himself and goes to play. So Chris is a hilarious guy. He's got his shtick and he's sticking to it now. I'm pretty sure at this point now he's doing it more out of obligation because of his reputation than the fact that he wants to. But he's a funny guy and he's sticking to it.
Hey, he better do his homework. There were a couple of errors on lists that we had to go clean up, so I hope he didn't start his binder too soon.
Yeah.
The other day he posted on Discord. The other day he posted on Discord. He was at the beach with his binder, and he has a picture of him like at the beach or whatever with the binder, like writing notes.
I love the commitment.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I'm going to call him Mitt Romney. Didn't he have like binders full of women or something? He got binder full of gamers.
Fun list though. I mean, only 40 zombies. So, but 10 Blood Knights, 2 units of 5, Dire Wolves, Capsuli. So everything's going to play through his zombie dragon and his Gorslav to bring those wolves back and those zombies back pretty easily. He's got a 20 blocker Grave Guard. Everybody knows at this point, if you don't know how hard Grave Guard can hit, then you haven't been paying attention. 20 Grave Guard. But that Rousing Commander is super cool if you don't know how that works. The Blood Knights and the Vampire Lord, I think, also they gain bonuses as the game goes on, depending on what they killed. And Rousing Commander lets him just do it, like even though he hadn't killed anything.
Per phase, yeah. He could take all the bonuses in the bubble.
Yep. Murder.
So those 10 Blood Knights will be like really grindy, and then they'll get their buffs on them for the rest of the game based on what they kill. So pretty cool.
Definitely a strong list. It's got a lot of variation in the types of units he has, and So it'll look very varied, and it'll look really good on his display board. Which, if he's using the one he's been using, his display board's excellent.
Oh yeah, he's got the Crimson Keep.
Yeah, he's got a very converted army. It's like a Khorne vampire army.
He went really heavily into that Crimson Keep kind of theme with everything. Like he wanted to play like Blood Knights and Dragons. That's what he wanted to play, and he basically built a Crimson Keep. You know how the Crimson Keep works in Soulblight? Like the Castellite can't go far from it because Nagash just strapped their asses to it. So he built his own Crimson Keep so he could take it to San Antonio and Dallas and everywhere else. It's really, really cool display board.
I love it. Love it.
He knows what he's doing. He's been playing this army since it dropped. So,
yeah. Next is Chris Keitch, who I played at round 3 in Dallas, who's a really fun guy to play against.
Mm-hmm. Looks like a similar list.
Yeah, he's playing a very similar list. In fact, it's not exactly the same, but maybe it is. It actually might be the same list.
No, he's off by a couple of things here or there, but no graveyard and an extra unit of Blood Knight.
Yeah.
Difference.
Yeah. And his zombies are 40 instead of 20. But no, it's a very solid list. It's very similar to the last one, so it's going to do a lot of similar things.
Prince Fordry and a zombie dragon, so he's going to play through those two models for the most part, and his Blood Knights too. But those two models are going to apply early game pressure, rousing commander too, and
and the Blood Knights are possible to lock down because of their move out of combat rule. So
yeah,
definitely a solid list. Has the capability of doing really well with it.
Is the Sci-Fi Factory a game store out by you guys?
Not that
I'm aware of.
Okay. That was the club that he was playing for, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he's Dallas area. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, is it Dallas? Oh, okay. I'm so locked into Hindo. I always forget that there might be other stores there.
It's a big place, yeah.
You know.
I
love
next
Hindo.
Next, we have Chris Long from Austin. He's moved off the Giants for this event. He's playing Idoneth Deepkin Nautilus. It looks like it's very similar to the last Nautilus list we looked at here.
Mm-hmm.
But he does have a Kronspire Incarnate.
Yeah, that's going to be Gribbly.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it gets up there in the middle. I mean, I just think Idoneth Deepkin have such good allegiance abilities right now. I don't know why you take anything that isn't going to benefit from their allegiance abilities, but the Kronspine kind of just does its own thing, so it's cool. Who's he going to connect it to? Lotan probably, or the King's a missile. You don't want it attached to the King.
Well, it's on the King, so.
Oh, it is.
So,
okay,
I think what he's trying to do. I think he wants it to rampage. So
he wants it to go.
So he's going to missile the King in, and then let the King die after it kills stuff, and then once the King dies, the Kronspire goes on a rampage. And so long as he keeps it out of 3 of his own stuff when it goes on a rampage, so it doesn't lock himself in combat, and then he can't retreat. So long as he doesn't do that, that means the Kronspire can from then on run in charge. So it'll let the Kronspire keep pace and move really quickly across the board.
Yeah, it's a super cool list. 20 Thralls, 10 Thralls, 20 Reavers. So it's a cool list. We'll see how it does. Yeah,
I'm sure it'll do well. I mean, Deepkin's in a solid place right now.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player. I mean, we played in Dallas, played a good game. I think he's a pretty good player, so I think he should do pretty well with this.
Mm-hmm. It's going to surprise some people. I don't think they're ready for that Kronspire.
I don't think any of us are yet. Any of us that haven't already been playing GT since this thing's been out, like I haven't played against one yet. I know the rules on it, but knowing the rules on paper and seeing something what it does on the table are two different things, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So next we have Christopher Schelling, our last Chris in this event, from Harambe's Heroes.
Another Kronspire. Giants
with a Kronspire.
Yeah.
How's that going to work?
He has two game breakers and a 3-man man crusher mob and the Crown Spine. And the 3-man counts as a single. It counts as 3 battle line because it's a unit of 3. So I mean, he's extremely good player. If you've not had the chance to play Chris yet, excellent player. Yeah, I would expect him to do very well with this. He knows he's got landmine matchups. The Giants have trouble into, but if he can dodge those, he'll go pretty far. Yeah. And he's at 1925 hilariously, so he'll take away all your triumphs.
Yep, and he's been really close at a lot of the. He was really close in Austin, really close in Houston. He's been doing well with Giants. He knows what he's doing.
He's a solid 3-2-4-1 player, right?
No, he's like a solid 4-1, knocking on the door 5-0 guy. Like,
yeah. In Austin
at the top, so
in Austin he was playing Gavin at the like 4-0 table round 5.
Yeah, okay.
And he was really high up in Houston.
And in Houston he was playing JTJ, both of them 4-0
table. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn,
so he's been like 4-0 like at 2 of the 3 GTs this season at the 4-0 table, and then fell apart for him in the last game both times. But he's real close.
Sorry, I underestimated you, man. I knew you were good. I didn't realize you were that good. Kick ass.
Yeah, he's one of the. He's a good player.
Next we have Chuck Gavlak, also from Hangover Heroes.
That's right. He and I played games years ago. Matter of fact, I was looking at my book of grudges, and I think we have a game in there from like 1999 or something. I mean, it's like crazy. Another fun guy. He's been pimping out the Stormcast Eternals lately. So, looks like he's got
9 long strikes.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's a little shooty. Fulminators.
Yeah. Libs.
That's pretty shooty.
Raptors. Yeah.
He's going to be okay as long as you can't get to his line.
Yeah. He does not have very much meat. This is a very low wound count list. Very low.
Yeah, this is Stormkeep too, so
yeah,
they'll be on the table.
Yeah.
We'll call this the pew 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 list.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll be. I mean, as long as he can keep his long strikes protected for a couple of turns, then he should get he should do well.
Yeah,
I think so.
And I mean, Chuck is a Hangover hero. He's here to have fun primarily. Yeah. So even if he does do well, I'm sure he'll be perfectly happy, just drinking it and hanging out with everybody in Slambo.
An epic man for sure. Speaking of epic men.
Yeah, I'm going to butcher his last name. So you want to go ahead?
Vital. So him and his brother, were really young lads, probably 20 years ago when we first met. And I don't know why, but his mom would let them hang out with all of us rowdy bunch. So we looked after him and grew him up the right way. And he's now a highfalutin banker and just an all-around super guy. An incredible painter too, by the way. So he's got his Nurgle army, when you see it, is just sickly, gross, and bright. And he has this yellow theme. Usually you see greens and different colors. We've got 2 amazing, non-standard Nurgle armies, and he's got one of them. I mean, blues and yellows, and just disgustingly cool.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that.
Wait to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's it's been the toast of the Maggotkin boards. And he's playing. He and I play very similar lists. So he's got, Lord of Afflictions with overpowering stench to dive bomb in with the Prescott and the Puscoils. He's got Festus and the Glot. So basically, he's there to heal him up and throw some infectious dice everywhere else. So he can get to you pretty quickly. Hold some territory with the Putrid Blight Kings, and just going to be overall really, really nasty. I'm a big fan of the Blessed Sun's Allegiance. It's when things start going south and you're piling on those disease rolls, it's a good thing.
What's it do?
So what happens is if you have somebody with that particular rule, once they die, you roll the amount of dice equal to their wounds to see if you give an infection. So on a 6 or more, you get them. And if you're at the right turn, you might do it at a 5 or more.
Depending on where the wheel's at. Yeah, that wheel in Nurgle is nuts. If your opponent rolls a 3 and they start on 3, good luck. You're about to be in for the most annoying game that you've ever played.
Oh yeah, it's so good, so good. It's a really compact army, but hard to move, and it's got the ability to hit from a distance.
Yeah, and it's super tricky when it charges you in your own movement phase with the Glock Kindle. It'll catch people off guard that don't know what it does.
Yeah.
Next, we have Clifton Pope, who is the merchandise maestro of Harambe's Heroes. So all of our shirts and jackets, and anytime you see awesome art for our club, Clifton is the one behind it. Fantastic guy, hilarious guy if you haven't met him before. He's there for the laughs. But this time around, he is bringing the nails. So for those that are looking at this list now, they might recognize this.
This is filth.
This is eerily familiar, and it's going to be even more eerily familiar for anyone who's looking at LVO, because he borrowed Gavin's exact army. It's literally Gavin's models. He's playing Gavin's army from LVO.
You can't be filthy like this and work in the school system.
I know, right? But this is the nails. It's a really strong army. I look forward to seeing how Cliff does with it. And it's gonna give some people PTSD that maybe were at LVO and saw it. Maybe we'll see.
Well, if you haven't played against this list, when those 30 free guild crossbowmen show up, I mean, it's just
yeah. I mean, even this is like tailor made to delete my whole army. Like this army will. I mean, we've seen it in Gavin's last 15-minute game at live stream. What it does to 80 zombies, it just takes them off the board.
Yeah, the crossbowmen are like the secret workhorse of the list.
Right,
and so cheap for what they do.
I was worried about the fulminators, but it was the crossbowmen that took me to town.
Yeah. So you know what it does. You don't love it, but we'll see it.
The next guy has the coolest name of anyone coming to Slambo.
I was going to say that. I really hope this is his real name, because if it's not, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. It's such a good name.
He introduce himself by, "Hi, I'm Colt King."
Yeah, I know, right? Or you just do it the James Bond way. King.
That's right. It is. I mean, I don't know. I think every time somebody says his name, some panties drop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, and he's playing Thunderbellies.
Which means he's got a giant penis. I love this. Ogre players unite.
Yeah, dude. He's got a couple Stonehorns, a couple Butchers, and a bunch of Mornfang pack. He knows what he's about.
Yes. So this is Thunderbelly. So the Mornfang within 12 inches of a board edge can run and charge, right? Isn't that their deal?
Yep.
So these Mornfang pack, pretty solid. Yeah, I played against somebody playing it. A very similar Butcher. What's he got on there? Blood Feast, cool. Rib Cracker, cool. So he's debuffing you.
Yeah, he's got both Black Clatterhorn and Metal Cruncher on those.
So
he's doing damage. He's taking you to town.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Like, I mean, it's gonna take. If your opponent doesn't know what it does, something's going to get blown up by those Mornfang pack. But if they know what you do, it's going to take some finesse to make this work. But you've been doing that for years with very similar builds.
It's
going to get in your face.
There are. It's one of those matchup dependents where there's a couple of scenarios where you really have to struggle, and if anybody outcharges you, i.e. dragons, you're going to have a bad day.
Yeah.
So next we have David Gonerman from Sons of Slambo.
Yes, another wonderful Sons of Slambo guy. There were only a few of us that were able to make Dallas, and he was one of them.
He's playing the guts, dude.
I know, another man with enormous genitalia. We were just talking about those. He's got a bunch of lead belchers, though. He's doing underguts, I think.
Yeah, he's doing guts, man. Underguts, I like it. I mean, It's not the way I would play it, clearly, but it's still a fun list. I mean, he's got his Noblar screen, Hrothgorn in there to do Hrothgorn things. He's just Hrothgorn's like a secret agent in this ogre list. He'll be where you don't want him to be, and then you'll have trouble dealing with him because he's an ogre and he's got 4-3 speed, and he'll go 14 inches away from you when you think you're going to catch him and kill him.
Yeah,
Pirate, massive storm. Yeah, so those lead belchers are going to shoot at 18 inches instead of 12. They're going to get +1 to hit against heroes and monsters because of the trophy rack. And they're going to charge like Stonehorns because there's 8-man units in there. And if you haven't been charged by 8 lead belchers, it's fun to see what they do when they go off. Like, I've had people just blown away by the amount of damage they did in shooting, and then also did good damage in combat also. Like,
and on the charge. Like,
yeah.
You can't just act like it when you're playing around it. You can't just act like it's a shooting unit because it does a lot of things.
No, it's a combat unit also shoots. Like, that's what it is.
It'll club your face. Good luck, David.
Yeah, good luck.
Next, we have Devon Smithwick from the Sci-Fi Foundry as well, or Factory as well.
Ooh, Reapers, let's see.
With Reapers of Vengeance, Blades of Corn.
That one's you, Brian. I don't think, I think you know.
Yeah, he's got his Demon Prince in there. Obviously, that's still a go-to, but he didn't mark it. Did they take it away? Did they take it away from the Demon Prince yet? Or is the Corn Demon Prince still marked as a prime target?
It's still marked.
Yeah, okay.
The only way to take it in this is to be marked Corn. So,
yep.
So I don't know if he has to mark it, but it technically has the Corn mark for anyone who has a question.
So you got a Slaughter Priest with Blood Sacrifice. He's got. I mean, you kind of have to with Corn now. You want to start building up that Blood Tide as fast as you can. So probably those Blood Reavers are going to net like 2 Blood Tides per turn. We got the new White Dwarf stuff where the army can start generating Blood Tides, which is going to let him start doing a bunch of stuff in your hero phase. So he's got the Blood Secrator with Mage Eater. Mage Eater lets him roll a unbind, and if he rolls an 8, it's automatically unbound, and the caster takes D6 mortals. And then Skull Shard Mantle gives that guy also a 2+ magic ignore. So he'll be hanging around if your goal is to kill him with magic. So he's got the Boom Thirster that just runs into the middle of your army and starts smashing his axe in the ground and putting off mortal wounds. Let's see. Slaughter Priest. Unfettered Fury, which is awesome. He's got Scarbrand and Unfettered Fury. So the Unfettered Fury is the one that lets him get the 6-inch pile in. So that's really cool too. I was looking for a specific artifact on this Boom Thirster, but I don't see it. So I thought he would have taken the extra movement when he runs, so he can get 20 inches across the board in a turn. But nah. But he has Scarbrand and all these Bloodthirsters. If he runs into a melee focused army, like if he were to come into my army, probably opens me up.
Yeah. And I think even against like Fire Slayers, like my army, if he knows what he's doing and he plays it right, he can open that list up like a can opener with Scarbrand and Pound 6.
Yep, and then also with the Boom Thirster, because the thing that keeps a lot of Fire Slayers going right now is their heroes, and they're usually clustered in with those units. You don't have to get to the hero with this build to actually kill those heroes. You just hit the unit in front of them. Everything within 8 inches takes those mortal wounds too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty good. It'll be fun. I'm glad to see Corn back out. I've been messing with it. I took a similar list, but I don't leave home without 30 Blood Warriors, whether that's good or a bad thing. So.
Just because they don't wear shirts.
Yeah.
There's no shame. There's no shame.
No shame at all.
Ooh, our favorite Frenchman.
Yeah, Dimitri Richard with Also Weird Knobs playing Nautilor.
Ooh, looks like another fucking Gamma list. Let's see.
Yeah. Oops, all hammers.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Oh, he's got a couple of Jawses there. Look at 2 Owl Plaque. All right.
Those new Harpoon War Scrolls, very respectable. 4 shots a model.
Much better. Much better than the old ones.
No, they're super cool.
And with the
And then they get
Leviathan
the
too.
extra attacks with the blood and the water stuff they have access to now. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And
between the
Dimitri-
Leviathan and Alapexes, he has 16 shots at range with those
Yeah.
2 for each.
And then he's got Reavers too, just one unit, but between those two, you're not going to shoot them. If you got a shooting army, you're going to struggle on turn 1. You can't get any of your damage through that you're used to getting through. It's like, so if you're a shooting army that's used to alpha shooting your opponent off the table turn 1, you're going to have a new game plan. Like, there's so much Deepkin out here. It's going to be hard to avoid it. Whichever one of these shootcast lists avoids Deepkin does the best. That's just how they're going to be.
Agreed. Outside of the dragon heavy ones, because dragons can still do stuff here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Dimitri's a great player. Deepkin is a very finesse heavy list, and Dimitri historically plays very finesse armies, so I'm sure he can get the most out of this and do well.
He's always on the short list at a tournament.
Yeah.
Any tournament he goes to, he's on the short list of guys who could win it, you know?
Yeah. And, I mean, he's finally off Slanesh, so we'll see what he does when he's not playing Slanesh.
Yeah. Yeah. I still think he wears a studded codpiece, but, you know, that's just me.
Of course he does.
Probably.
I mean,
Yeah. Hey, the next guy, I don't know if you guys have got a chance to hang out with Eli, but he is amazing. Eli Ramos. I think he needs to have like his own theme song when he comes in, like Eli Ramos, sexy motherfucker. You know, he's a super good guy. Slambo would love to recruit him, but I think Austin's got their tendrils in him.
yeah, we were talking to Eli like on his way out the door at Dallas, and he's like, well, I gave you guys 2 months or 3 months of not going to Thunder Lizard. Now it's over. I'm actually going to play Seraphon the way that it was designed to be played. So you're welcome. And now I'm back on Thunder Lizard, and it's
Here we go.
like pretty standard Thunder Lizard.
Before he would just do the duck. Now he's going full fist straight out of the gate.
Yeah, I mean double Bastillodon,
Yeah.
Stegodon.
Thanks.
Yeah, just straight up Thunder Lizard nuts, man. Like Engine of the Gods, Prime War Beast. He doesn't have. He's got Curse on there, but he's got Prime War Beast, but he doesn't have
the
cloak on there. That's
Yeah.
I usually don't see an Engine of the Gods go without a cloak.
Yeah, it's because he wanted XD Grubs real bad. The XD Grubs are insanely good on this land, and he didn't take 6 heroes, so he doesn't have access to another artifact.
Yeah.
He chose, instead of going with the cloak, he chose to go with the Stegodon battle line.
Then he's got Hand of Glory in there twice for redundancy, which is good. That's a really important spell for them.
No, there's nothing else in that lore that's as important as Hand of Glory for that list.
Yeah.
But no, Eli's a great guy.
And a sexy motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that he wants to he's trying to win with this list. It looks like I'm glad to see. I want to see what he does when he's got a list that's the nail.
He's already getting max sportsmanship points from whoever he's playing. So if he brings a good, decent, filthy list, he's got a good chance of cracking the top 10.
Yeah, Eli's always been in the times that because they come out pretty often to Houston tournaments, and Eli has been just a blast at our little tournaments, So whoever draws Eli is going to have a fun time. I mean, even though you're going to have your army probably taken off the table in about 20 minutes, you'll have fun doing it. You'll have fun deploying and then taking your army back off the table.
Yeah. As the laser beams cut you down.
Yeah, I bet he does well. And
I think so too. He's done well with a neutered version of Seraphon to this point. So he's ready. He's taken the self-imposed nerf off of himself and playing it for real.
He's loyal to the weakness.
I hope he takes all the Vanguard Raptor players out of the tournament, so I don't have to deal with them.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah. Here we go.
Okay.
Another cool name. Esteban.
Yes. The show's own Evan Miller, Harambe's Heroes, playing Cool Boys, Big Yellers, and one of my favorite looking lists at the event.
Wait a minute. He said Esteban. Esteban's not showing up on BCP.
He's not. I got him
Nope,
right here.
it goes right from Elijah to Evan.
I don't see Esteban at all. Yeah.
Oh, that's so weird. I got him on mine.
We'll go over it. Tell us what he's got.
Okay, Esteban Santos has Idana Deepkin. I'm going to mispronounce this, but I think it's Futhan.
Oh, yeah,
Futhan?
Futhan. Yeah, Futhan. That's about as good as any of us are going to do it.
I don't know. I feel it kind of has a fruit name like Hey Futhan. So he's got Van Renar Cruel Water, which is like the opposite of Smart Water. Lotan, Warden of Soul Ledgers. He's got a Battle Mage with Ghost Mist. And then he's got the 3 of the Bloodthirsty Alapexes. He's got a unit of 3 of the Archelian Alapexes altogether. So reinforced. Pretty solid. So again, I mean, we've said a lot about these different lists, but it's going to be one of those ones that's right on the top of your face. I don't know what that Enclave does, though.
It used to, I don't remember offhand what it does now, but it used to buff the mounts in the army.
Oh, okay.
It was like the mounted heavy one. And I think actually what it does now is it buffs those Alapexes. I think it makes them battle line, and it gives you the Bloodthirsty Shiver, which allows one of those Alapexes to be +1 to hit when in combat.
Well, it's definitely oops all Alapexes.
Yeah. So it's the Alapex subfaction. So
good luck, Esteban.
I
do
do
see all these Lotans, man. They're like super cool models that now have an actual place in Age of Sigmar.
He isn't showing up in our BCP though, so maybe that's something to investigate after why he's not showing up.
Yeah,
in BCP.
No, that's strange. Just curious, how many registered players do you show?
95.
95?
That's so weird. I have 95 as well. Huh. Okay.
Is he on the second page for us? Hold on, let me check.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just going off my...
No, he's not showing up on the second. Maybe you got somebody that has dropped that hasn't been addressed on there.
But we'll go on to Evan Miller next.
Now, is he still alive? Maybe he can talk about his list.
No, the chat can't hear him apparently.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
But his list is pretty hilarious. So I think he has like 27 Bolt Boys or something. I don't like count, but he has 27 Bolt Boys, all in 3-mans. So he's trying to go MSU to avoid people focus firing him. Looks like a 2-drop per. Yeah, he has 4 kilobosses on Great Nashtooth, which is hilarious. That the model is really well priced for what it does. But if you haven't seen this list play, but what he does is he's screening all of his Bolt Boys with the heroes. So he puts all 4 Great Nashtooths like sideways in front of all the Bolt Boys to block off them, because it's like the toughest thing per point in the book right now.
That's brilliant.
So it's really funny to watch happen on the board, because normally you're used to seeing infantry blocking heroes, but in his army it's all the heroes blocking the infantry. Very inverted, sneaky orc way to play.
That is some cruel boy shit right there.
Yeah. So tons of shooting, all doing mortal wounds. The Corpse Rip of Ultra to try and move up, and I think he's taking people's wards away or something with Arcane Tome and Choky Mist. No, that's the -1 attacks one.
Yeah, it's -1 in the bubble attacks.
Yeah, so he picks a spot in -1 attacks, which is crippling for a lot of armies. Rely on like 2 attack things like Thralls and Hearthguard and the like. So we can run into them.
To make a quick announcement too. We've switched Eli to Sons of Slambo and BCP. So welcome to the team, Eli.
Perfect. But yeah, I love this list. I really hope Evan does well with it. I'm sure he will. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Next, we have the show's own Gavin Gregar from Harambe's Heroes. Back on Daughters of Cain Hagnar for one last hurrah before the new book. And he did list prime targets too. Look at this guy. Being a team player here. So Marathi Kane and the Shadow Queen with a Hag Queen on foot, a Slaughter Queen on foot, the Mulusai Iron Scale, the 15 Shooty Snakes, 5 Melee Snakes, 10 Witch Elves, and 5 Harpies, with the Avatar on foot as well, buffing the Hag Queen's rolls. The fun wrinkle he has for this one, which doesn't normally have, or didn't have in his Houston list, is that Slaughter Queen. He's going to be trying to make a bunch of fighting happen with the Shadow Queen in the hero phase. I believe with that prayer that she has, and using since Marathi Kane knows the whole spell lore now, using Mirror Dance to move the Slaughter Queen around to activate that.
To do your second fight activation, it's awesome. Like, it's a cool list. It's got the 15 Bloodstalkers, but it can get real choppy in combat too. Like, making something pilot and fight a second time in the combat phase after it fought in the hero phase too. Like, you ever been fought 3 times in one phase one turn by Shadow Queen? Like, it's pretty cool.
Yes, we'll call it cool.
I hope there's another Daughter of Cain, or Daughters of Cain matchup like Gavin and Matt Robish had. In Houston. This time though, I hope it's Carlson and Gavin. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Carlson back. Carlson and I played at like every 2019 GT, and then I haven't played him in a long time. So
yeah, he's such a good guy.
It's probably pretty easy to say this, but I would imagine Gavin's one of the favorites for this event. Daughters of Cain has incredible win rate in the greater community at large. Probably one of the best win rates, and Gavin's one of the best players. So I would expect this to do extremely well, and I expect he'd be hard pressed not to go 5-0. I think. 4-1. So,
like, there's so many little like tricks that this army has with the Slaughter Queen in there, and with her having full access to the spell lore now. She's not just a Mind Razor and then Mystic Shield spellcaster anymore. So there's a lot. If you don't know that book very well, this against Gavin, he'll take full advantage of it, and he'll open you up pretty good.
All those tough crowd guys got their work ahead of them. They're coming down to try to take the title away. So we'll see what happens.
Good luck.
Next, we have Hunter Atkins from Sons of Slambo.
Yeah, my brother from another mother, my sister from another mister. Cool guy. He's been playing the Osiark Bone Reapers lately.
Nice.
Now, I got to tell you, I have a mental block when it comes to this army list. He's really good at it, but because it doesn't play the same way, and I've never had it, I'm the worst guy to go over this list. Best guy.
Well, we know it pretty well. Zach and I both have played this similar stuff.
Let me hand it over to you guys.
Yeah, Sportus Praetorians. So he's looking at +1 save across his army. A lot of Mortec Guard, it looks like. And where is it? There it is. Go for our officer. So he's going to ruck up to those objectives in the middle of the table, and you're not going to be able to kill Mortec Guard off of them. Is generally the thought process. But with the amount of mortal wounds and Ren that we have access to in the game, but with it being 20 blocks of Mortec there now, it's still hard to kill him to a man. It's real hard to kill him to a man. So they'll play the board really well. Plus, Arc and Catacross are insane. Catacross gives them that's where the extra +1 to save comes from. Also, right? He gives them +1 attack and +1, or he gives them +1 to hit, and then +1 to save for Mortis Praetorians. So, and then Arkin with Protection of the Gash is awesome. Arkin's very similar to Manfred. There, you can play around that. As long as you don't throw him into something that can just blow him up, Arkin will be real hard to deal with. Plus, he's a really good spellcaster. The Soul Mason is a really good spellcaster, 2 cast. And they have that new thing from White Dwarf where I don't see whichever one casts their Mystic Shield on that block of Mortec that turn. So there'll be a 20 block of Mortec ignoring like neg 14 rend, re-rolling all their saves. It's nuts.
And he has protection in the gash listed on Arkin, but Arkin does know the whole spell lore, not just
He knows everything. Yeah.
Yeah, he knows the whole spell lore.
Yeah.
Solid list. It does what it does. It's going to sit on the middle of the board and try and hold the objectives and try to dare you to try to kill them off a bit, which some armies can, some armies can't. So we'll see who he gets paired with.
Yeah,
I like Hex Effects a little better, but
It's still
Hex
solid.
Effects swing back. This is solid though. Yeah, real solid.
Yeah, he's a relatively new player of the game, but he's picked up the system fast. I think he went 3-2 or 4-1 at Austin
Nice.
Open. So I mean, he's does really well down here, and I've got great expectations for him.
Yeah, very similar to this list. Jonathan Slesius went 5-0 in Dallas with.
Yep.
So it's definitely capable if you get the right matchups and you play well. You could do well with this.
It's just a handful to kill. It's just like it's like a farming combine going down the middle and cutting down the wheat field. Like the Gothazar harvester is going to push 20 more tech in front of them, and it'll look like a lawnmower, and acts very similar to a lawnmower. It'll just cut down everything in front of it, slowly but surely.
Yeah. Up next, we have Hunter Robinson, the Raffle King himself from Harambe's Heroes.
An all-around super guy.
Yeah, absolutely. He's playing Castelli this time, and it looks like his list builder bugged out when he was hitting the plus button next to Blood Knights, because that's all he put. Just spam that button. 4 or 5 blocks of Blood Knights. 4 drive, Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon, Laukabai. He has Rousing Commander, which we talked about. He's got pinions on all the vampires like he should. It's just all around extremely tough, extremely hard hitting. There's not like a weak spot you can like take it apart with by hitting.
These Blood Knights will be outflanking also.
Yeah, it's a 1-drop. There's not like a clear weakness anywhere. There's not like somewhere you can like poke to make it fall apart. It's very independent from itself. Just a very solid list. And 1955, so he's probably going to get that triumph most games.
Most games, not against me.
Not against Schelling or not against me. You'll enjoy a game with him though if you end up pulling him.
He figured out like game 3 in Austin that he was playing his Maul Crusher with a 4+ save the whole weekend when he had a 3+ save.
Yeah, he was back to back with me game 4, and he leaned over to me. He was like, "Hey, this Maul Crusher." He was borrowing my Maul Crusher. He's like, "Hey, your Maul Crusher keeps dying." I was like, "How is it dying? It's got a 3+ save and can heal a bunch." He's like, "What do you mean? It's a 4+." Like, what are you talking about, Hunter? Did you read the worst roll? I like leaned over to his game. Like, are you kidding me? You played this thing with a 4+ the whole weekend? Yeah. Oh no. So Hunter's.
But when it comes to people, there's not better people on this earth than when you have I challenge anybody to meet Hunter, spend 10 minutes with him, and not absolutely love the dude. Like, you can't do it.
If you don't, we're going to come fight you.
Yeah, then get the fuck out of here then.
That's right.
Right.
Next, we have Jack Hawthorne, Sons of Slambo.
Slambo! Yes.
With no faction listed.
No, he's, I just added it. It's Slaves to Darkness.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a real estate mogul here in town. So he's usually heads up to business, but I think he cobbled together a list of some warriors and knights and not much else.
Yeah, what did he write this in? Microsoft Word?
Yeah, well, so he it might be for all I know. He's a super cool guy, but he was jet setting while I was trying to get his list from him. So I had to have my people call his people who called their people, and now we got it. But I'll tell you what, you'll have a fun time if you're playing them, and if you're ever looking for real estate in San Antonio, Jack's your guy.
Yeah, I mean, you might just tell him to pick a sub faction and get some artifacts and stuff on those heroes.
Yeah,
because the Carpenter Lord is good. Yeah, I would obviously he's been pretty busy. I would give him time, but because he's missing a lot sub faction, he's missing grand strategy.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
all that stuff.
That's a big one.
Yeah, I didn't notice this until just now, but yeah.
Yeah, this is worth looking into here to help him out a little bit, especially if he's newer.
Yeah, I mean that's the point of this is to help find these mistakes and make sure that when you get to game day that we found most of this stuff beforehand, so we don't.
Maybe we could hook up the tough crowd guys with him, so the tough crowd can finally move down to a real state.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, I don't know what you trade for houses in Canada. I mean, how many bottles of maple syrup is that?
Oh yeah, it's gallons of maple syrup to buy a house in Canada.
But then they might go through poutine malnourishment, which would be terrible.
They don't want some. You can get French fries and gravy down here. You can get gravy on anything in Texas. You just ask for a side of gravy. It'll be all right.
Well, wait till they find out that Canadian bacon is really Spam. I mean, that's going to be a bad day.
Yeah.
Canada, America's hat.
Yeah, how dare they call that bacon?
Yeah. All right.
So next we have Jack Ratley, who's from Houston, but he's repping rolltowound.com, which is a blog site from a Houston guy who writes a blog about Age of Sigmar. So if you haven't checked out Roll to Wound, I would do that. The guy in charge, Jason T. Johnson, is an excellent guy. He's also coming to this event. They'll review his list in the next episode. But really good guy, makes good content on his website, worth checking out. But Jack is playing Ivanath Deepkin, Domain, which again is the Thrall heavy one. He's got 2 units of 20 Thralls, a couple Alapexes, Tidecaster, Thrallmaster, Eidolon, Kelly and King Missile. Your typical suite of things you see in Domhain. It's a very strong list. It has a couple landmines, but it's good. Brian,
it's pretty brutal. We were playing a practice game with my ogres, and I was like, well, if I just sit behind my screen, I kind of know how this goes. So let's go play. So I went out and got actually some shooting and was able to get up there because, ogres can move pretty quick. And then didn't get the turn and he got the priority, and he killed, and with this list, killed all 165 of ogres just about in one turn of combat.
Yeah,
it's pretty brutal.
Very brutal.
If you walk into its damage, it will tear you apart. You're going to have to play very cagey. You're going to have to take advantage of if you have any mechanics that can get you into combat without charging them, that kind of stuff. Like out of sequence activations. Anything you're going to need every tool in the toolkit to outfight these things if you're playing a melee army.
Yeah, agreed. That's Jack. He's going to do well with this. He's a good player.
He's been tearing up the Houston scene. I think he's got he won every event that me and Gavin didn't play in for the most part for a while there. I think Gavin, when we were traveling, he won every local event for 2 months. It was crazy.
This will be his first GT of the season too, so it'll be cool to see him out and playing at a GT.
Well, no, he played in Houston. He played in Houston, but he got grudged. Right. I think he grudged someone game 1, and then he got Matt Taylor round 2, and then Carlson. He grudged Carlson and got wore out by Carlson game 1, and then went right into Matt Taylor game 2 and got clapped pretty good too.
Yeah, that's right.
He's not playing Legion of the First Prince this time though, boys. Legion of the First Prince is a good army, but it's well known unless you go hard in the star branded boom thirsters that it doesn't have any teeth. So once your shit gets unlocked down, you can go kill it pretty easily.
Next, we have Jacob Berry, who's been lighting up the Slambo Discord chat with all of his shit talking.
Big people.
I love this guy. And coming with Beast of Chaos, so another manly man list. I think he sweats Old Spice.
So he's playing Beast of Chaos with Be'lakor. So he has a bunch of Bestigors, which are going to be running and charging real fast across the board with a billion rend. Gorgon's giving him primordial call points and also tearing you up with a billion rend.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, this is a good list. Be'lakor's fun in it. To try and hold somebody down to get him to the 3 rend turn. Or the 2 extra
get
rend
into that turn. Yeah. You just need like a turn of the Shadow Queen not like ripping and tearing through your army. So you get another turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
With Be'lakor, like holding those big pieces down.
Yeah. The concepts here are good. He's got good structure. So I think he'll do it.
He's a great player.
Yeah.
And he'll take your shirt off and tell you that you're handsome while you're deciding who's getting priority. So.
Yeah, I really look forward to meeting him. I've heard a lot of good things. So
yeah, he's absolutely hilarious, a good gentleman, and a dark sense of humor. So
fit right in around here.
He'll fit right in around here then.
Totally. Although we can't sell him beer for some reason. He tried to buy some beer staples coming down, and the hotel just kept putting up the cock block. So we'll have to figure that out. I guess you have to provide your passport or something. I don't know. We'll get it figured out before he gets here.
You gotta show your passport to do what?
I don't know. They were just giving him a hassle about prepaying for beer. So, you're a bad motherfucker when you're prepaying for your beer.
When you're trying to pre-order your drinks.
Yeah, he already knows what's going on there. Next is Jacob Bissett from Sons of Slambo.
Yeah, he's another Sons of Slambo original. So, this guy is fucking hilarious. He's now he will, as he would call it, he's coming for your bussy, is what he'll say. And he's playing Castle, I believe, right? Let me look here.
Yeah, it looks like he's taking notes. He's taking notes from Matt Robish. It's very similar to what Matt Robish was running. 2 units of 10 Blood Knights. Be insane meat blocks that can also throw a pretty good punch.
Yes, would rather avoid. Like it's the one that you just want to avoid it. You don't want to have to deal with it.
Yeah, even if you can beat this list, it's not something you want to fight.
Right?
No. Yeah.
It'll struggle into things like Seraphon, but everybody struggles in the Seraphon, so that's not like a knock on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
but outside of that, it doesn't have a lot of terrible matchups.
No.
You guys don't see him much, but he's actually our Slambassador for Florida. So we have different ambassadors in the UK and in Canada and also down here in the States. So he's one of the big wigs. So it's nice to have him come back into the fold for a day.
Yeah. Well, it'd be cool to meet him then. I haven't met him before. So
yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of thralls too that will tear into this, as I think he's saying in chat. But next is Jacob Matthias from Dallas playing Ogre Maw Tribes.
Okay.
Blood Gullet,
huh?
This is you, Brian.
Nice drop of the red stuff. I love it.
Yeah.
I love getting 6-inch pile-ins with ogres. I mean, he's running 2 Mournfang packs, which is good. He can take advantage of that 6-inch pile-in without having to worry about coherency and stuff like that.
Cragnos.
Bolt entrails, love that. Rib cracker, love that. Cragnos. Oh God. You can see that. That went in at the bottom there. Yeah. No, Jacob is the guy who had all of those I don't know if either of you are on the Dallas Defenders. I haven't been on there in a while, but I remember when he was building these, like all of his stone horns are all kit-bass out of other things and super cool conversions. And he's been at it for a while with this. He's had like 3 or 4 4-in-1 showings with these guys. So it'll be cool. I mean, it's Kragnos. You got Stonehorns charging you 3d6 with slamming into you, doing mortal wounds like crazy.
Yeah, another manly man list.
It is. It's awesome.
I know. I feel like he should have like a wife beater on and Brute by Fabergé.
Yeah. I tried to talk him into playing Underguts, but it never took. He said he didn't. It never worked for him.
All right. Well, get in my belly.
So next is Jacob McCoy, lost to Weird Knobs, playing Gloomspite. And the variant of Gloomspite he's playing is looks like a mix between the typical Grots and Squigs.
Yep.
He's got the fight another
boss
that'll retreat after it fights. He's got Scragrot.
Yeah, it's an old school list. This is an old school Gloomspite gets list.
This is something you would have seen in 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Loon Balsam Mangler Squig with Fight Another Day is a pain in the ass. It will come up and do all of its damage to you, and then you'll get no damage on it because it'll just retreat away from you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, very solid. Match dependent, obviously, because it's an older army that. If he gets everything to go off with like the Boing Grots and the Mortals that he can put out, actually he doesn't have a Loon Boss on foot. But I mean, the Boeing Bounders do a lot of mortal wounds. The Reactive Cauldron's very good on Scragrot. He's got some good things he can do with this list.
Yeah, if he gets the moon right, those Boingrot bounders are going to hurt.
Yeah,
and I love that he's got Mork's Mighty Mushroom too. That doesn't see enough action.
Yeah, it's a fun endless spell for sure. Seeing how far it goes. Next is James.
Is that the one that does damage to you at the end after you use it? Like
no,
at the end of the phase?
That's the Reactive Cauldron.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Mighty Mushroom's the one that you like cast it and it goes 66 inches and it looks like a nuke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next is James O'Brien, Tough Crowd. James is like the head judge of the Open Series for GW, I believe. And he's a pillar of the community up in the north. So it's really cool to see James coming down.
Yeah, he came because he used to run Nova with Gareth out there, and Garrett, I think his name is, and they came to War Games Con 2 years ago. So a lot of us have met him, and then he also was like head TO at Austin as well. So we're helping Jeff and those guys TO that event.
Yeah. And he's playing Sylvaneth, which is really cool to see.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about this list.
Gnarl Root. I love his variation of it. He's got 2 Durthus for smacking people upside the head. The Warsong Revenant with the Spell Portal, Cogs, and the Chalice to nuke people from afar. He's got Drycha for some more mortal wound shooting. And the Tree Lord to give the +1 save in a bubble. And looks like he's auto-casting with the Vesperal Gem Tree Song to try to get the rerolls on something that he wants to kill with his Durthus. So it's it's very solid. It is Sylvaneth, and it's only 73 wounds, so he's got some some matchups that can just take him off the board before he fights. But when he gets the right things going, he can tear people apart. I was playing. I was playing with my Durthu the other day, getting ready for the new Sylvaneth book, and I think in 2 combat phases I did 72 damage after saves with 1 Durthu, and he's got 2. So they can do a lot of damage if you let them.
That war song with the. See, did he bring it?
Yeah, he's got
there it is. War song, that spell portal is going to be pain in the ass. It will just nuke you. I mean, I had Sylvaneth player in the game on turn 1 with that because he did 42 mortal wounds to my ogres because he dropped the spell portal right in the middle of my whole little area where I deploy and basically killed everything in my army that mattered.
Yeah. And he's got cogged as well, so he's going to be able to every turn cast the Throne of Vines to stack +2 cast as long as he doesn't move. And move the spell portals and cast his orchestral spell. So if he doesn't move, by round 5 he could be like +13 or something to cast. And that his nuke will just be insanely strong by the end of the game.
Yeah, because it's 13 plus 2d6 dice that he's rolling.
Yeah.
For every unit within 9 inches of that spell portal.
Yeah, it's incredible. And the Spite Swarm Hive is going to give those Durthus +3 to move and charge, which most of the time he'll be putting it on them and then shifting them through the trees. So they'll shift the trees and have +3 to charge when they come out the other end.
And if he's ever judged an event you're at, he's as good of a player as he is a judge. So every event that he goes to, he's in the runnings. I think he 5-0'd with this not long ago, or 4-1 with it, right?
He 4-1, yeah.
Dude, that's impressive. Yeah.
So
good. Sweet.
Yeah. Look forward to seeing James and talking to him more. Next, we have Houston's James West. He is playing Cruel Boys as well as Evan. He's playing Big Yellers as well, but he's got a different spin on it. Instead of playing 27 Bolt Boys, he's opted to go for 9 in one single unit. And he's got 40 Gut Rippers and a Beast Skewer Killbow.
Yeah.
So he's rolling up all the Gut Rippers with the Sludge Raker to make them hit like Hearthguard Berserkers.
Yeah, and I've played it. That Sludge Raker with Sludge Raker with the Egomaniac is way harder to kill than you think it's going to be because it's sitting there passing off wounds to those 20 Gut Rippers. Like it's a tough list to take down. I think between his Killbow and his Unbind, he did like 7 or 9 mortal wounds to Manfred. At the end of it, Manfred took 7 of them. 7 mortal wounds to Manfred on turn 1 before I ever got to go. So, yeah, if there's an army that can handle Manfred, it's this one.
James is a great player, so I would expect him to do well. I mean, he's doing what he normally does, playing something a little off kilter, and he'll catch a bunch of people off guard.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll do well.
Deadly.
Exactly. Look forward to seeing how James does with this.
Last but not least,
for the day,
the wannabe Dan Norris of Austin Weird Knobs.
He's such a sweetie. I love Jeff.
No, I'm just kidding.
Crush on Jeff.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Jeff and I have played so many times lately. We didn't play forever, for the longest time. And then here recently, we've got paired up at 2 GTs in a row at a local. We've just been playing a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And I got really lucky against him in Dallas. He came up and he was going to yeet all my Noblars off the table. He's like, here, watch this. And he rolled 2 2s and a 1, so he didn't yeet any of my Noblars off the table. But he still did 70 damage on turn 1.
Man, I'll tell you because San Antonio and Austin are so close, they come down to our events quite a bit. We go up to theirs, and we really got close with them. And he and I have had some killer games. And I'll tell you, I've won, I think, the last 2 because he made a mistake. He's just having so much fun that he missed something.
That's a lot of our games, in Hammerfest. He left a Bloodthirster out by itself without any kind of cover. And right when he passed the turn, it dawned on him that his Boomthirster was out by itself and 30 Marauders were about to take it away from him. And that's what they did. They teleported over there and got him.
I firmly believe that, I've never beaten him. Only he's beaten him when we play. He also, I just want to give him a shout out. A lot of people may not know this, but he is the talented artist that's helped a lot of the Texas Masters with, their artwork, on the Slambo pack. He helped, create and modify that image. And make it look as professional as it is. So we wouldn't have the high profile collectively if it wasn't for Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He says you wound me in chat. But hey, Jeff, look, if I ever get referred to in the same sentence as Dan Norris in a comparative fashion, I'd be extremely honored. So
get out of here.
Take that.
I'm just a hobo.
But he's playing Corn, Reapers of Vengeance.
I love it.
It's very similar to the last one we looked at.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's an older book, so you're kind of like hamstrung into certain things. You know, Reapers of Vengeance, because Bloodthirsters have such piss poor war scrolls. If you're not fighting twice with them, then you're not getting your points out of them. So, yeah, 6-inch Pilot, Unfettered Fury, Boomthirster.
Incarnate.
Oh, that's a new piece. Incarnate in there.
Instead of the Wrathmongers, he's opted to go for the Kronspine Incarnate, bonded to the Bloodsecrator.
Yeah.
That's going to be weird and interesting at the same time.
It gives him a tough, like, the problem with Bloodthirsters is they're relatively squishy, especially at range. The Kronspine gives him something that can, like, move to a point and not get shot and die in one turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just tie down the things that can threaten your Bloodthirsters.
Yeah. And it gives them a piece that Form doesn't really have access to in their own book.
Yeah, it's a real good control piece in that army. It's not, like, in a lot of these armies, you see it be that hard-hitting monster that they want rampaging. And in this, I think Jeff's going to use it a whole lot more as a control piece.
I agree
just to keep shit off of the Bloodthirster.
Yeah, he doesn't need damage. He's got plenty of damage. What he needs is something that won't die to a stiff breeze in the shooting phase. And that's
Corn Demon Prince and an Incarnate, like, you're going to play hell trying to get to those Bloodthirsters. What's going to happen is people are going to risk it, they're going to fail their charges, and then those Bloodthirsters are just going to clean them up.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's saying in chat, the nice thing about this list, because of that, is this is one of the few times he has stuff alive on the board, turns 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm. I think he plays his cards right. He's going to clean up pretty quickly with that. That's a new dimension that people probably.
I think so. I think there's a lot of melee armies that we've gone through so far, and he's going to chew through other melee armies. Like,
agreed.
So I like it. Like, I think. I mean, I haven't seen the back half of the list. Maybe all the shooting's back there, but I mean, we had a fair amount of shooting so far. But for the most part, it was a fairly balanced group of lists tonight.
Yeah, people have de-jerked to Ideneth pretty hard with all the shooting in the meta.
Mm-hmm.
At least locally.
Yep. All those fish molesters.
Yeah.
Fish and elves. How can you keep creating these hated combinations?
I don't know. But the good news is there's a lot of ogre players coming, so it's going to be okay.
Yeah, superior.
I almost brought mine. I've been playing the shit out of it lately, and I wanted to play something different. And it was more of the Soul Blight was a hobby project too. I can't wait to show it off. I mean, it isn't going to be like Kit Reich Soul Blight, but it's my own version of it. So I think it'll look. I think it looks pretty good to me. But
yeah, I think we've all put a lot more effort into painting this time around. So I look forward to seeing how the painting stuff goes.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Well, we've got it's not just a painting award. We have the Mighty Tom Ferris Painting Award honoring one of our locals that was just an incredible painter. Also my best friend. We lost him to COVID. So we're going to honor him. But we've got, in addition to Best Painted, we'll have the Players' Choice Awards. We have some larger awards called the Slammies. So the first place in all those categories will get a Slammy designed by our very good friend, Jeff V. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is we actually have an award called Hobby Hero this time. So, traditionally you have painted, you have sportsmanship, you have overall. Now, overall is what gets reported into BCP, but Hobby Hero is combining all of the scores together. So, battle, sportsmanship, and painting score. So we'll have a 1, 2, 3 for that.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, maybe I can finally bring home some hardware. I've been this season so close. I've been 1 point away from best in faction, or it's like I'm playing ogres and I'm 1 point away from best in faction, and I got not 1 point away. I'm going up against Iron Jaws, who score 3,000 points a game, trying to get best in destruction with underguts.
Oh,
So it's
man.
been.
Awesome.
You're gonna have to fight me for that Hobby Hero award, Brian.
I'm going for. I mean, I got my stuff ready. My display board's ready. I finished everything last week, so I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
You
dude,
got
I'm
a
ready.
good chance. Remember, these awards, you can't win multiples of them. So whoever, if you get the higher award, the person under you gets the next one. So there'll be at least 12 to 15 award winners.
That's cool. I think that's good though. That's very good.
Yeah.
Make a lot of people feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't plan on winning anything for painting. I'm not going to kid myself, but they look pretty good for me, for what I'm capable of. I'm not Kit Reich and all these
Well,
guys who are.
Good, man.
Kit was made in another dimension, far, far away.
Yes.
He's got, I don't even know how he layers the way he layers. And, but we've got some good competition. Nina Murney's coming back.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, she's got some really cool Idana Deepkin that she's been working on, and
I'm sure she's got a crazy display
for an edge list. She's got what do they call it? The ultraviolet black. You know that black that no light reflects out of.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, like the Vanta Black type stuff.
Yeah, Vanta Black. That is. Yeah, she's been doing a list with that, and I mean, it almost hurts to look at. It's so cool.
That's cool. I really would like to see that army at some point.
Yeah, it makes you uncomfortable, but at the same time, it's really beautiful.
Which is perfect for Slanesh.
Right? Yeah.
So, well, all right. Anybody else got anything? That's the first half.
I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me. I love our Dallas Defenders and our, Austin Weird Knobs and our Harambe Heroes brothers. So, all of us sons of Slambo just love playing with you guys. And anytime I can join you here, please invite me again. I'd love to be back.
Absolutely. It was great talking with you, Dan.
Yeah, and I appreciate everybody hanging in here for the chat. We will have an update on the following episode. Everyone's schedules have been nuts lately. So it will be probably this weekend, but before Wednesday is my plan. And we will have Matt Robish on from the Austin Weird Knobs to help break down some of the back half of the list. So
such a good player.
And Gavin will be back too. So it'll be good to see Gavin and Matt talking. Maybe they can hash it out over their lovely game they had in Dallas.
I'll have my popcorn ready, and I'm gonna hire somebody to steal Chris's binder.
There you go. All right. Well, that's it, guys. I think we're pretty settled.
All right. Well, take care, guys. Have a great night.
You
Have a
too.
good one. Great talking to you.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Evan?